Welcome to Cranky Live Sports Talk, where passion meets action.
Hey sports fans, I am Cranky, and this is the Cranky Live Sports Talk, the podcast where we dive deep into the hottest topics, the biggest games, and the most controversial moments in sports.
Whether it's football, basketball, track and field, cricket, or soccer, we've got you covered with expert analysis, insider interviews, and unfiltered opinions.
Join me as I chat with the biggest names in sports, get exclusive insights and stories you won't hear anywhere else.
Cranky Live Sports Talk is where you can hear the real talk, the hard-hitting questions, and the hottest takes.
So, if you're a true sports fanatic, you don't want to miss out, subscribe now to the Cranky Live Sports Talk on YouTube and hit that bell icon to never miss an episode.
Cranky Live Sports Talk, where sports come alive. Subscribe today.
Buenas tardes. Good afternoon. All right. Mike's on Hot Star. Mike have some BS on it. Good evening, Juras. Like you're here live and direct, Juras. Thanks for being here. Appreciate you being here. Those of you tuning in, this is the Cranky Live podcast. We're here to talk about a number of different subjects. The headline is about, and by the way, people, as you come in, you know the routine. Come on. You know the routine, people. Is it come in the way it's supposed to do? Don't hesitate. So we have a lot of things to talk about. It's hot. The main subject, obviously, talk about the upcoming game tomorrow, which I will probably do a watch along on. And I say probably because I'm not 100% sure. But between Cavaliers and Inter Miami. And we'll talk a little bit about the press conference that was held with the Cavaliers personnel. We'll probably talk about some. I said probably because I'm not 100% sure. I should, but I probably will since my team is in it. We may talk some Champions League. Good games today. Very good games today, actually. And some team have their bogey team, you know. Some team have their bogey team. And Atletico Madrid have their bogey team. Breast up Tripoli, thanks for being here. They have their bogey team, which is Real Madrid. But we're not touching that. We're not touching sports yet. We're doing regular events first before we jump into sports. So first thing I want to say, actually, 2,500 subscribers. It took too long to get here, to be honest. I got 1,000. I started this podcast June 3rd. I think I had 1,000 in my first month, and then it went to a trickle. But of late, it's been growing quite a bit, actually, and I know the reason why. Probably just keep it to myself. But let's just say this, I probably would end up doing less sports. I realize that people want to hear what I talk about, but it's not necessarily sports, even though I think it's more problematic because you're touching on very touchy subjects, and I'll touch upon some of them this evening, and they're ideological in nature. Some people can't stand it. It's 9 people in the chat. It's 18 people in the chat. Sorry, 9 likes. We're not doing this, people. We're not doing this. We're not doing. We're going back to the miserable cranky. We're not doing the thing and then the coming and now hit the like button. But I'm talking about different subjects, and those subjects are getting a lot of interest. I notice actually, especially the short. So, be the next month. Yeah, we'll see. But no, I'm really encouraged by the response to some of the subject I've done around Trump and tariffs and blockchain and a bunch of different things. And people are tuning in, which is good. And especially respond to the shorts. I get some comments though, which are not digestible. People want to call you idiot in a star. And I say, you think you're Einstein? They come hard. And I actually haven't gone back at them. You know, I'm just like, okay, I got to get that thick skin going because the more you touch upon the subject, the harder it gets, right? The more people are going to come hard at you. So I think I get more positive than negative. Kyle Wallace is asking, hey, Kyle, how you doing? Actually, about Singapore. Kyle, I'm going to be I shouldn't say this, but I must say it anyway. I'm probably going to be a viewer's slave, Kyle. So the subject that generates interest that I'm very interested in. So I don't have to struggle for material anymore. You know why I don't have to struggle for material? Tell me why I have to struggle. I don't have to struggle for material, people. Not that I really struggled before, but talking football, you know, this thing and that thing 24/7 and tinkering at the edge, that not do it, man. We never struggle. We have material, so much material nowadays. Let me tell you something, people. I have so much material, I don't know what to do with myself. Every time I see Trump, me have material. Exactly, Kyle. Every time I see Trump, me have material. Me have material. It's so much material. I could do 20 shows in a day. In fact, it probably will happen. Not do live shows, but I probably do 20. The problem with AI solution, we'll come to that in the trickle. The problem with doing 20 Trump in a day is that when you do videos, and I was talking to another, I'll say who? Gunners. I was talking to Gunners. You know, Gunners have a channel. And by the way, bless up, I can subscribe to Gunners' channel. Gunners is good at what he does. And Gunners and I were communicating. And I thought, because, you know, I'm more seasoned, it was me being slow. But Gunners was telling me how much time it taking to put the video together. I was like, thank you. I thought it was me. When you do videos, and if you want to do the video right, with pictures and videos and all that, takes a while to get done. So I'm very encouraged that it's not just me. It's a combination of factors. Probably me somewhat, but also it takes a while to put a good video together. If you're going to do a video versus doing a live. Live is much easier, actually. You can come and just pontificate and talk and do all sort of stuff. But when you're doing videos, it's much more involved and take much more time. But I like doing the videos because you can then sort of manage it better, right? When you're doing live, you have to engage with the audience. You're interacting. It's a different construct in terms of how you operate. But I have so much material. So I'll touch upon some of the material. We jot down a couple of them before we come in here. So Trump's tariff, 25% on oil, steel, and aluminum. Interesting. And that's anybody who sell it to the US. Now, I'm going to do a show about some of this. I'm going to do a show on... So don't look up for the show, people. Hey, people, if you watch the show right now, here's another thing I notice to people. Me out of a place this evening. When I do videos and I talk about non-sport, I get much more female viewers. In fact, sometimes I go up to like 27, 30%, right? If I do a sports program, we get 0 female viewers sometimes. Once in a while, I get a few, 0. That not work for me. In fact, if me have more female viewers than male viewers, I can live with that. Bless up Paper Plate, bless up ONON. So I am going to think about that actually. Because I love talking about social matters, not just sports. And I want to also show my versatility. So Trump on 25%. Look, I understand why Trump is doing tariffs, people. ONON. So if I was use percentages, Claudine doesn't come like he used to anymore, actually. The last videos I checked, Claudine hasn't been on the line that much anymore. Claudine said she's been busy, so I haven't really seen her that much. So tell me when last I see Claudine on the channel. I think I've seen her once in the last month or 2 months, actually. So she's not here. And then I think there's 1 or 2 more people who come on, but if you look at the percentages, can I look at the stats? Okay, we do YouTube, you can check your stats, trust me. So it's going to be interesting. Bless up, Chris. I think tariffs make sense to a point, but I won't give my show away. I explain the benefits and the detriments of having tariffs, right? Because everybody thinks that it's just bad and the markets are crashing, and that's true. And I did a show on that. But there's a long-term plan that Trump has, but you can't do long-term plan when people don't want to do long-term plan. Americans are about short-term, about it now. It ain't going to work. But I'm going to talk a bit. I'm going to do a show on that because it's very important to do a show on that. Especially since me, I get the views. Them I have to do it because we become a slave to views. Now, Canada and the EU have struck back about this. They have set up a portion, a certain amount of the billions of the trade volume they have, and they're going to do tariffs on some of those. So he does aluminum and steel, which means the construction industry, and anybody who use those type of materials and those products is going to go up. And eventually, the society pay for it. Government collect the money as tax, society pay for it. Yeah, Trump keeps giving and we're going to take. Yes, I agree with that one. We're going to take. Tariffs are basically led to the old system, crashing and leading to the blockchain. Yeah, I mean, I don't think tariffs are going to lead to blockchain. I think what will lead to blockchain is the fact that The way Trump is going, people are getting disenchanted with how America is running the world. Because America run the world, people. Don't be fooled. America run the world. I used to run the world. China push back. And at the end of the day, the US dollar, 88% of all trades done globally is done in the US dollar. Which means that's why the US can afford to have sanctions, because you have to come to a US financial system to execute the trade. It has to be done in US dollar. They got to be provided to you. And therefore, if you decide to run afoul of the US, like how Cuba has done, Russia more recently, Iran, North Korea, Sudan, then you get squeezed, right? Which is really interesting. But if you had another currency, people wouldn't give a damn about what they use, when I say a lot of times. Yeah, but the BRIC countries, so there are 5 countries makes up the BRICS, BRICS, Brazil, Russia, India, South Africa, and China, which was coined by I said this, I showed the other day, a Goldman Sachs research analyst. And these are sort of the 5 emerging economies years ago, which is supposed to be common. China's supposed to be where it is today. Some of those countries haven't progressed as well. I don't think Brazil and or South Korea has progressed as we would have expected. But the BRICS have expanded to include other countries, right? Because they're trying to, there is an anti-West, anti-US thing occurring, and it's not helped by how the US is operating. And they want to work around, sort of 5 founding. They want to work around the US, but it's very hard to do, just given how trades are done. And if you watch one of my shows I did a while ago, you can see how I sort of talk through that whole process and also talk about blockchain. But if blockchain ever becomes a reality, it's going to be interesting how that works in terms of the US's influence. Now, I'll say one thing about tariffs. Before I go to that, the question is, who's going to win the global trade war? There won't be no winners. There'll be a bunch of losers, and those who don't get hurt the worst. But ain't no winners in no trade war. There ain't no such as winners. And here's another question. I'm going to do a show on this too. What's the Caribbean doing to take advantage of all these situations? Because you know, most of those Caribbean countries, in terms of trade with the US, are at a deficit, right? The same things Trump complaining about the trade deficit between Canada, Mexico, and the US, and China and the US, and it's huge. The question is, the Caribbean are in the opposite direction. They have a trade deficit with the US. They look at Jamaica, it's awful. I think Jamaica must have, what was it, $1 billion or few billion with the US, and they sell little or nothing to the US. So the question, and the focus here, people, I shouldn't talk about this, but I'm going to do this. The focus is on manufacturing. If you're a manufacturer, that means you're an employer. That means your economy will progress and probably boom. Just look at China, became the manufacturing capital of the world. The Caribbean produce nothing except some local grace this and some grace that and some local agricultural stuff, and produce real tangible material things. The other day, I see BYD open big thing in Jamaica. I open big showroom in Jamaica. I have to laugh and say, why? All we do a consume. And when the Jamaican dollar keep the value. All we do a consume, now produce. Why isn't Jamaica thinking about, you know what? All these people want to be close to the US in terms of the factories. Or average compensation is much less than the US. Why wouldn't we have some major factory in Jamaica to produce like things like iPhone or whatever things are, and generate economic activity from that? Where's the government in trying to bring some of those businesses to Jamaica? I think they'll run them out and talk. Yeah. Oh, and so BlackRock is heavy in RWA. They are just doing a lot of stuff with blockchain and with third-party companies. Look up. Yeah, I actually am very familiar with BlackRock. Probably too familiar, actually. But I'm very familiar with BlackRock, actually. Extremely familiar with BlackRock. I haven't looked at what they're doing in this space, though, Owen, but I probably should. But I'm very, very familiar with them. Probably too familiar. Larry Fink is the president. Been there forever. Came from investment banking on Wall Street in the late 80s. I even know when they started, my company used to audit them. And then I had a lot of affiliation with them. So bless up Johnny Powell. But yeah, BlackRock is the largest asset manager in the world. I think they manage now about 9 trillion. They manage about $9 trillion, which is a lot of money. So they have a lot of control around a lot of things. And the market sell, I did do a program on the market sell-off the other day, because tariffs sort of drove that. And if you ever work on Wall Street, people, I'm telling you, This is not fun time. This is like people going crazy. People want to jump out the window. Really bad time. Well, they don't really own it, people. They don't really own it. They manage other people's money. So they have control over the money, but it's not their money. It's not their money. Okay. Yeah, I will do some research on that, actually. I don't think I know anybody at BlackRock anymore, you know. I used to know a lot of people there, actually. Yeah, paper plate. They said it was $12 million for one of those cars that BYD is going to sell in Jamaica. 12 million people. What that 818-854? That's what 80,000 US. When I have money at Jamaica, boy, ratted 12 million, and you have big sprawling showroom. By the way, I think that car they're selling for 80 million in Jamaica probably costs 40,000 in China. So I did do some research on BYD, and I realized they're selling cars for 30-something thousand, 40,000, really nice cars too, just like a Tesla. I think they're priced about 30% less than Tesla. And about 50, because they sell electric vehicle, maybe 50% less than and 6% less than the US electric vehicle or the European vehicle, ex Tesla. So it's really interesting. Bless up DJ Johnson. And it's interesting because BYD sort of control the entire supply chain for their products, right? Which is interesting. And that's why the US is struggling. So I do believe that countries in the Caribbean, first of all, the Caribbean has to be one economy, include all the countries, Dominican Republic, Haiti, all of them, to not even compete, but just to matter a little bit. Because size matters. That's why I see Europe want to compete with the US. That's why they have the European Union, even though Great Britain got out, which is stupid. What they did with Brexit. So it's going to be interesting how that all works out, actually, because I would think that the Caribbean should be like how you see Mexico manufacture so much. It's all about costing of people. People go where they have people with the skills for the product and how cheap it is. It's all about profits. And the Caribbean pay much less than the US does and Canada does, and maybe similar to Mexico or less than Mexico. So I'm not sure why the Caribbean doesn't have more manufacturing plants. Not talk about no baseball factory, real manufacturing plants there to generate economic activity. You can't keep having these trade deficits. All the Brit produces agricultural stuff and not produce anything material that people want in their lives, apart from you have to eat, but the profitability and the per unit item cost is not what you want it to be meaningful. So I think the Caribbean has to come together and think about how they do a better job of this, because right now they're getting their kicked. Not a good look. But I saw that BYD thing. I was like, Jamaica has money. Is that local people have money, or is that diaspora money? Which is it? Don't know. Now I saw that the White House became a car sales room, actually, or a car sales place, actually, because I see Trump trying to sell Teslas. Now you're getting your ass kicked when you ask the president of the United States to help you sell cars. And I hear these people talking about, well, he's still worth $200 billion. I think people are missing the point, though. When you were 450, you were the man on the street. Now you're 200. It's all about who's number one, and how much influence you can have, Plus, a lot of stuff. Musk is not cash rich, Much is probably more stock rich, or more value rich, which is he has almost 30% of Tesla, 20-something% of Tesla. So I don't know actually why the SEC or even why shareholders don't pressure the board and or executive management to say, well, what are we doing with Musk? He's got to go. I don't care if he got 30% or not. Now, they probably want that name connectivity, and he formed the company. But he's not. The shareholders should get together and push him out, because he's killing the company. He's the one killing the company. It's not their product. They're getting challenged from BYD. But most companies you have on the street who are in Wall Street or in a public company, your compliance department, your legal department, manage everyone in the company to make sure they're doing the right things and not create adverse reaction to the company. And he's doing that. And I know the board members are his friend. They're the ones that almost gave him $50 billion the other day. Even though shareholders sign off on it, don't ask me why, because they must be stupid. But I don't understand why he's not getting pushback from inside Tesla to say, you're killing us. This shit can't continue. I hate to use that word, but it can't continue. You have to go. I don't care if you have 29% or not. The car speaks for itself. The car still works. You're not in the field. How are you going to be doing Dodge and doing Tesla? You're not doing anything in Tesla. People have a misconception that Musk is the one doing all this thing. No, he's not. He's got people working for him. So I don't know how that works, people. I don't know how that works. So Jamaica had some free zone until taxes. Yeah, but I think, look, Tripoli, the reason why people get tax incentives in a lot of times in other areas is because it's about you get taxes from the people who work for those companies, not necessarily the companies themselves. So repeat that. A lot of times you give me a tax incentive. So if I'm supposed to pay 10% tax, you give me I build buildings in the area, you give me some bonds at deep discount, or you reduce my taxes, whatever it is, right? I'm exempt from certain taxes because people have to work in the company and they have to pay tax. So you'd get the money indirectly versus directly from the company. Same concept. The people in Caribbean got to be more innovative and more thoughtful about how they go about trying to generate economic activity, because it's going to be left behind, especially when we're not focused on STEM in the Caribbean. You're going to be left so far behind, it's not funny. But Tesla is getting their butts kicked, like really, really bad. Can you imagine working in that environment? They got to probably soon start cutting people. And your stock price is going through the roof, or through the floor, I should say. And also, I bet he uses his stocks as collateral for a lot of things, for a lot of loans. Because my understanding is not cash rich. So he probably uses it as collateral. So when you go buy something, you say, my stock is what I use. So if I have to pay something, I can always sell my stock and it pays down whatever loan I take out or whatever it is. I bet he bought Twitter, for example, or X with the stocks that he owned and already paid a lot of money. People lend him the money and the stocks as collateral. You probably pay interest on the loan. So that's interesting. But I don't know where the Tesla boards and investors are. That means I would assume some lawyer, some big firm would be go ahead suing Tesla for negligence in terms of how he's operating. But that hasn't happened. What's my next topic? Ukraine and Russia. I see where Trump browbeat Ukraine to come to the peace table, and he's now threatening Russia. We'll see how that one work out, because Putin already take threat well enough. Putin and I take threat business. So we'll see how that work out. Putin knows he has the manpower and he has control of Russia. So he can afford to lose 2 million people and not even sweat. His economy may not be where it needs to be, because obviously he's under sanctions. And as I mentioned before, most trades are on the US dollar. He's able to do trade with China using his currency and the yuan and working around the US situation, but he can't sell to the rest of the world. That doesn't work. And nobody want to run afoul of the US. So really interesting how that will work out going forward. Another thing on tariffs, before I forget. It's not, a lot of times in life, people, it's not what you say now. It's where you say it. It's how you say it. It's when you say it. Right? Let me say that again. It's not what you say. It's where you say it. It's how you say it. And it's when you say it. And if Trump had packaged the whole tariff things differently, because he always wanted to appeal to the MAGA people, and he's got to get out to appeal to them because most of them have no sense, then he would have been in a better position with the whole tariff thing. But I'm going to do a show on that and give the benefits and detriments of tariffs. What's the next topic I had on here? Earthquakes. So Washington State has a volcano. What's it called? Mount Adams or something? That's been making a lot of noise. So if people live in that area, I hope that, and then Jamaica in that area, I want to move, because sometimes the nature just want to do its thing. You can't be around. And what's my last point I want to touch on is, people, I've been getting this, I don't know how people get my phone number, my regular phone. So I have a couple of phones, right? The one I use for this program, another phone, which I try not to give out the number as much as possible. Bless up, one. Thanks for being here. But somehow, boy, it looks like when you put your number in any environment, somebody sell it to somebody else. Because I keep getting, there are a couple of scams that's being run. One is about a toll payment scam. I noticed that I get this scam for toll payments. It's been happening for a while now. And I ignore it because I know if I use Easy Pass, that they just take my credit card. They don't communicate with me. Just take my credit card, right? They're not communicating. I keep getting this communication. So what they do when people are trying to scam you, they create a sense of urgency around the email that you get or the text that you get. There's an urgency. Got to do it now, and put pressure on you. So you always got to look out for that, right? So there's a fake toll scam and there's a tertiary education scam going around. In the toll scam, individuals receive an unsolicited text claiming that you have unpaid tolls that require immediate payment. The message always display a specific amount and include a link directing the recipient to enter personal and financial information. People, if anybody asks you to enter your personal financial information, delete it. No bank not supposed to ask you that. Nobody's supposed to ask you that. If they want you to do it, you go into the system where you use and do it. Right? The communication they provide, though, it's basically phishing, right? They're trying to steal the information that you use it for mainly financial transaction. So, for instance, the Pennsylvania Turnpike Commission reported a scam where residents received texts requesting personal financial information to settle alleged outstanding tolls. And they have had it in Houston. It's happening all over. So if you get them to a toll there, and it's been going on for a while now, you have to be very careful. And there's another one called Tertiary Education Trust Fund. And it's probably come out of Nigeria. You know, Nigeria and them get blamed and start. Obviously, that's something. Use them brain. Smart people use their brain for the wrong thing. So the scam involved unsolicited communication requesting immediate payment. Always an immediate person. When I used to be in corporate, they used to give us these classes about these scams, and there are certain themes about them. A lot of times the word will be spelled wrong in the name. If you read the name carefully, the word spelled wrong. There's an urgency. There's a bunch of different stuff. And my concern nowadays is that with AI, because sometimes people don't even speak English well, some of the scammers. So they can't write English. They spell the word wrong, put the wrong thing on the name of it, if you read it really carefully. But AI will help, because then you won't have everything spelled wrong. They're now creating domain and copying website information. It's crazy. So you gotta be careful how you give it information. When am I gonna have a financial live? I don't know yet. Tell me when you want the financial or not. But me forget people. Me say this too. You see, those of you who follow my channel, who just follow the football, I feel a little bit taken aback because I get enough support from the football community. I'll be honest about that. That's why I do more of them other subject there. But if I do the live, like more ideological topic, I don't get the same level of attendance live. People watch the videos subsequently, and that's why I do them in video form. People they don't watch them live as much. But I used to do them on my other channel, which I've not defunct. It's growing, but slowly. Because I should have put out my videos now on both channels. But if I'm gonna get the audience live, then I'll do live shows. But the videos take much more time. But I do get good views off them. Then the last time I did something on Jamaica, I did one on the when Trump said forget about Jamaica. I think I got about like 4,000 views, which was one of my better videos. So, and here's my aspiration, people. My last point on this. I was watching Gilbert Arenas yesterday afternoon. Stephen A. Smith was on the show. At one point, they had 73,000 people live on. Now that's my aspiration. So we need help. 73,000 live. I was like, not bad numbers. But just talking sports, not bad numbers at all. Not bad numbers at all. Just talking sports. So, which I'm doing here. But I appreciate those of you who come here and join. And people, don't hit the like button. Hit the like button. So let's go into some sports now. So, Champions League roundup. I'll say this, which is this. It's it looked like I should have probably called it the Real Madrid trophy. The weird things that go for it. I tell you the truth. I did not stop win. Not stop find a way to win. Ricardo says, Amazon Prime is a scam going too. And guess where the customer from? If you thought Jamaica, you're right. Yeah. I don't know why we do this. I think they should just give those people who do scam life imprisonment. Make a special jail for them, give them life imprisonment. I would have no problem with it. If you're going to scam some little old lady who work all them life and then take a retirement saving, she go to jail for life. They should pass the law in all those countries and say, you know what? If you scam people of life savings, then we're going to take your life from you in terms of locking you up for good. I don't know. I don't have a problem with that. None. I hope they do. Dr. Dan, bless up. Thanks for being here. Getting out the plantation. Hey, want to be on your plantation, Dr. Dan? Me exchange place with Dr. Dan. I don't mind being on your plantation. It's a good plantation to be. If you live on a plantation, they'll pay me well and take care of me. Now I'm in a ruthless 1-1. If you get life in prison, throw the key. Tell me some people, you work all your life 1-1. Say you're 65, 60, 70 years old. See up all your money and some look up P who will come up with some accent and because you don't understand computer, come take your money from you and go in a car, big Benz and smile up with him friend them and a girl gal it out your life savings and you there on the sideline now a beg. If you got jail for life, me no problem going for life. Life, lock him up, throw the key. So don't not even set an exam, just lock them up. I mean, so, taxpayers still have to pay for them, but lock them up, throw the key. Me have no problem with that. None. I don't know who a scammer, and if go jail for life. You don't like it? Me not care. All I don't know a scammer. Say if a scammer in a chat, you have to go jail for life. Me not sorry feel for you. When you rob people of their money, and someone talk about me, some politician you might talk about, oh, well, they took from us way back when. What the F are you talking about? The person you scamming didn't take shit from us as a people. Some old people in Idaho or Nebraska or whatever, they didn't take nothing from us. Their forefathers may have been. Stop confusing and conflating and make an example of other people who do nothing to you. And you want to rob them and thieve them. Some little old person who don't understand technology and computer and you're not anything about, but say, oh, they rob us. And the politicians in Jamaica, the corrupt ass that some of them are the same ones who come in there talking that crap about, oh, well, they took from us, so we take from them and push out them chests. You know, scrub, go away. That's why I see it. You are awful people. And society should not have anything to do with you. And I saw when the politician, I saw him talking about this and them suspending him for a few little while and then put him back in night. Them man, they have vermin, all of them, vermin. And for go away. I don't give me this race thing nonsense, people. Whether you're Caucasian, Indian, whatever you are, it's unfair for you to work all your life and some little, you know what, rob you and take your money and live them big life for them go work and go make the money where you make. And then they can't go people. And then people encourage them, you know. Because the people at the house take the same money where they must scam people off. And if I them get scammed, a different story. And some people encourage the scamming. And there are people in position of power in Jamaica encourage the scamming. Disgusting. Wow. Boon, that's awful. Yeah, I agree. Wisdom. Yeah, you know what? Them man never got to El Salvador prison. I'm gonna call that prison, but I call that not even dungeon. I think you call that. I'm thinking that vicious. So let's go to the Champions League round-up. So Real Madrid are through, and they will be playing Arsenal in the last 8. By the way, where's Liverpool, people? Is Liverpool still in the Champions League? I can't remember right now. All the Liverpool fans. Is Liverpool still in the Champions League? I can't remember. I know that they played yesterday. Can anyone tell me what happened to Liverpool? Brilliant, Timal. Brilliant. I love that one. That's a great question. And you know what's funny about that too? The courts are at fault for that because you know what? If you're, well, I guess you're an alleged scammer, but if they have concrete proof you're a scammer, they should freeze your assets. That means they can't pay the liar. So me shit. Oh Lord. Before the game, people, this person before the game, he's an eternal optimist. Right? I'm not saying Arsenal can beat Real Madrid, don't get me wrong. But you see if the thing isn't decided, like if Arsenal is down 10 and we still have time to win the game, he'll say we have a chance to win. And I'll say, I don't want your chances. He's so optimistic. It's amazing. It's amazing. I don't have his optimism. I'm much more cranky when it comes to these things. What do you mean that started off good? Wisdom, what are you talking about? That started off good. Chris said, Cranky Jamaica's a joke when it comes to scamming Indians leading the world. No. I'm not saying Indians don't scamming up. Almost every country probably have scammers, right? But like everything in life, people, there's degrees of it. So in some countries, it's pervasive. Some areas of Nigeria, it's pervasive. India have whole call center them set up for the scamming. I know this, Chris, but I'm talking about my people. We should be doing better. I don't want to follow the people from who are doing things in other places, right? But I know people in India who work hard, and I know people I don't know anyone who scam, but I know they've tried to scam me from India. I've had the conversation. I know me had to use some BC and some MC and some DC when I talk to them on the phone. You know, one time to me now. Somebody called me from Jamaica, right? I try twang. I try scam me. But they're never too smart because them call with a regular phone of people. And when me call them back and them answer. And they want to bad me up. And how much did them they know? How much did them come from? I want nobody from much did. How much did them come from? They might try to bad me up. You say, you can imagine how the conversation went, right? They might try to bad me up. After me call them back at the phone, take up the phone. I try to bad me up. And try to bad you up remotely. And like the man some gun pan you back up. Try to bad you up remotely. It wasn't a pleasant conversation, trust me. They might try to scam me and them have attitude. Oh, scam if you have attitude. Anyway. Not a good conversation. But I go back to the football. So Aston Villa, Club Rouge had a red card. Aston Villa win what? 6-1 in that thing. So Aston Villa is through. PSG playing Aston Villa. That should be a really good game. Even though I think PSG look good people. I don't think I've seen a better team. Looks in this round of 16, their midfield is ridiculous. I think they look really, really good and really, really special. And Dembele is playing brilliant football. So we see how that goes. But we're going to play Real Madrid. And I know Liverpool is playing somebody. You guys ever remember who Liverpool is playing? Because I know they won the first round. So I know they're playing Sunday too. They're playing Newcastle, right, in the Carabao Cup final. But who's Liverpool playing in the next round? I know Dortmund is left. Bayern is left. What am I missing? I know Liverpool must be playing somebody. They have to be. So Bayern playing Inter. Barcelona playing Dortmund. Really good games. PSG playing Aston Villa. So where's Liverpool? Arsenal playing Real Madrid. My glasses, I can't see well. I don't see no Liverpool, that's all. The Liverpool fan them like Maverick and them. Liverpool fan them front of their mouth. And I went to APL and about you get knocked out. You won almost every game except your last game in the first round. You didn't even care about the last game. And you get knocked out of your yard? Really? You're not in the last 8. So I don't know I beat Arsenal. I'm a Liverpool fan. Can't talk to me now. Until we lose, I can't talk to me. And by the way, we'll get back Saka. We already got back Martinelli. Won't get back Havertz in the next by the time we play Real Madrid. And Sterling didn't look bad today. I think I'm going to get no game. Now play Sunday. He can't play against Chelsea. He's loan tied. But he looked good. He looked decent today. Halfway decent today. So we'll see what happens. But we're in the last 8. We're in the last 8. Where's Arsenal in the league, Richard Green? We're second. We're second in the league. We are where we should be, even though we don't have any strikers. We are player number 8 as striker. We are second in the league, people. And we're proud second. Even though we can't score goal nowadays. I think we dropped points in our last 5 of our last 10 games or something like that. Some ridiculous number. But Liverpool is home. We're in the big boys competition. Liverpool isn't. Richard Green is trying to be cute. Liverpool is leading, but we're in the big boys competition, Richard. You're in the domestic league. We think bigger and broader. People hit the like button and farther. That's what we're thinking. Next season, we are going to be good next season. We'll get a couple of strikers. We're going to be good. Oh, Lord. You get the Liverpool fan. Don't Liverpool fans, stop hating. You're out of Europe. Just suck it up and move forward. You're out of Europe. You're out of the big people competition. A big boy competition now. Us and Villa can put up with chest and talk. Only can't talk. A big people. We have kids and we have grown-ups. We're in the grown-up competition. Please stay in your kids' lane, okay? Don't have no attitude. Don't get yourself all riled up because Cranky's done Liverpool. You know something? I don't think I've ever, and this is going to sound really weird, even when Tottenham played in Europe, I don't think I've ever wanted a team to lose more than Liverpool lost yesterday. I'm telling you, ever in any time you're watching football in my entire life, watching European football, because I always cheer for the English team, no matter who they are. With Tottenham, I'll be agnostic. I would just not care, right? I was hoping PSG won. Twofold. One is, I think PSG has been hard done in this competition. I remember when Barca came back from 4-0 down to beat them. And when they had Messi and Neymar, I liked them, but those three didn't play any defense. That killed them. But I love how they play. And when they went to Anfield, they could have lost that game easily because Liverpool were the better team. You know, the shots were pretty close. But PSG was brilliant. They were brilliant, and Liverpool choked. You can't win the first round easily, win 7 games and give it the last game, and you choke. In fact, you should get about 6 weeks of PSG. You guys were clueless. And people are complaining you don't have Trent for the final against Newcastle. You should be happy Trent can't defend, even though he wasn't terrible yesterday. No, when I don't. I support the English team, but oh Lord. So people, you see how the conversation goes. Richard Green, please let me explain to you this. We're talking about the now. It's about the pleasure you get now, Richard Green. Not six championship you won way back when. The last one against Real. Well, what last one you won against Tottenham, right? When the cheat said something like hand the ball when he didn't in that era when I threw handball, so you win the game there. Yeah. Christopher Wisdom, stop aiding. We're focused on it now. Please stop going backwards. We're going forward. Look prospectively. Go forward. You're going to win the league. Be happy. Because everybody said they want to win the league first, right? We have won the league already. We have won the league more than you have won the Premier League. We have won it more than you. I'm not talking about the old Division 1 now and how it used to be. We have won more Premier League than you. Hold on on that. We have won more FA Cup than you. Hold on on that. Now, we don't win Champions League because we weren't really interested in the competition, but now we're interested. So we're interested this year. We're interested in the competition this year, okay? We're interested this year. Eric said, Cranky, he knows how every Arsenal is going to do better. Yeah, we're a do better club. Ricardo, we're a do better club. We're a do better club. But I'm just saying, we have done better in Europe this year than Liverpool. Indisputable, people. Would you agree, Richard Green and Wisdom, Mr. Wisdom, Christopher Wisdom? Would you agree that we have done better than Liverpool this year in the Champions League, not in the league? Oh, Lord have mercy. Here we go. People. Let me say something. If you're behind me in the Premier League, if you're not in the Champions League, if you're not in a cup competition, you can't have a conversation here, okay? There are big people, conversation we're having, people. Big people conversation. Those who matter conversation. So if you're with some club that in you pass Newcastle and go up, start with MAN, you don't in them competition now. Big boy competition this. Liverpool can't talk to me because them just get knocked out yesterday. We're not winning our third division league and for the Europa conference and Europa. We're not doing them thing there. We are a big team, right? We're not going to thing there. We used to do that. We have moved up. We are moving on up. And the good times. See me, I said we can't even sing. We are moving up, people. We're not in the backward thing and the struggle for make not champion and not are we going to get relegated? We're not anything there. We are a big time team. Those people who run them club in almost bankruptcy, who owe $700 million and want to build $2 billion stadium, now ask me how they want to do it or borrow more money and then they owe so much and follow fashion and follow Tottenham. Might not go to business, Might not go to business now follow Tottenham. David Levy, a big time financial wizard. You know if you make a dollar talk. Yeah, bring Ineos in, Ineos do worse. Have coach, fire the coach, and then fire the coach. When they're supposed to fire the coach. I said that madness. You have if you're in Man City has done brilliantly. So take Man City this. The other team in Manchester, whatever the name are, whatever that team name is, they're irrelevant. It's an irrelevant team. They don't have nothing to look forward to except misery. Nothing. That's why I was a protest. Yeah, I was a protest. But anyway, let me go on to Cavaliers. So if you are supporting one of those team people, I am not talking to you because I'm an elitist when it comes to this thing. I don't talk to people who are secondary. If you are not in the top 10, in fact, if you're not in the top 6, we're not going to top 10 no more. We can't talk to you. You know, they talk about top 4. Me expand it. Because there's going to be 5 Champions League team in Europe this year. In Champions League from you. By the way, for those teams like Tottenham, Man U, even Man City, a 5 team in Europe. Not going to find a Champions League this year now. Oh, but I don't know, make it. Huh? Prodigal Son scored today because I didn't watch the game and I was watching the Arsenal game. So I know that Bruges got a red card, but are we saying that maybe I should have looked it up? Let me see what it says here. No, this is the Barca game. I just pulled up a game. Well, he not scored today. Asensio scored 2 and Matson scored 1. Oh, Lord have mercy. Juras. I hope your kids support another team from Man U. They're going to need to. Don't stigmatize your kids. Don't make them feel like they're inferior. Okay, Juras? Let them support Arsenal. We don't care what you are for. I don't think both. If Nottingham Forest go there, Nottingham Forest won't rich enough. You go on there. They'll be fine. They have a big fan base. They used to be in Europe. They have 1 European competition before. They have 1, but we have 1. We got an assist. Okay. Look, I want Bailey to do. I'm gonna say his name. I want Bailey to find form because we need him to find form. Cause we want to go Gold Cup next year. Oh, the Gold Cup non-player. Gold Cup non-player on the East Coast. No, me not go West Coast. Me not like Fly Star. We'll see how that work out. Because I want to go watch Jamaica play. So I may have to drive to California, which is about 70 hours. We'll see how that work out. But I do want to watch the game live. They pick Man U. They love greatness. You mean past greatness? Don't conflate the 2 things that Juras. When last has Man U been great, Juras? When have they been great? Now you have 1, 2 trophies in the last 2 years, but when have you been great? You haven't been great since 20. I don't know when has you great. I mean, you won the championship. What 2010 when Ferguson last year? You haven't been great in a while. You haven't been great in a while. All right, let's talk some Cavaliers versus Inter. But we'll come back to that. We'll come back to them thing. Yeah, and the whole thing about. By the way, people, if your team is not in the Champions League, and you know who you are, which team are you supporting to win the title? And don't be haters, people. If you team is not there and you support EPL, you're supposed to be supporting Arsenal or Aston Villa, one of the 2. A lot of people may support Bailey because they have Jamaican affiliation, and I hope he does well. Actually, I hope he does really well, and he probably will. Actually, I think what we noticed, people, and Sterling played really well today. By the way, I thought PSV was a much better team than the one we played, even though we played our second string team. But I thought they played really well. They kept the ball well, scored 2 good goals. But I think when you are a player and you're always starting and you're the man and now you relegated to a bit player, it must be very, very difficult, right? But you still make your money. Because money is not everything when you get to that level. You already have money. It's not about a money thing. It's more about the accolades you get and your involvement. And the last game that we played, we brought on Tierney instead of Sterling and we needed a goal. Like that has to be the worst feeling. We played Man U. We brought on Tierney on the left instead of Sterling. Even though I think Sterling, that cross to Rice today was exquisite. So hopefully you get some. I think he's going to be like William. William came to us and was awful. Went to Fulham afterwards and did brilliantly. I think Sterling going to be like that. He's going to go someplace next year because Chelsea don't want him. They should just buy him out and take it from there. All right, let's talk Inter. Miami and Cavalier. So here's my first point. And people don't beat me. Don't beat me. Don't beat me. But me have to say it. In my entire history, and I've been around for a little while, in my entire history, why don't think me else say? What think me else say? Guess what I'm say, people. We have to do some guessing, but I'll show you now. Guess what I'm gonna say, people. I've never seen this in my entire history. I've never seen this. Seriously. Maybe it happened, but I haven't seen it. So you guys guess what I'm gonna say? In my entire history. Want to guess something else, say, people? Yeah, I know. But we have a lot of left back now. We had 4 in the field today. Yeah, but that's insult. I think Arteta. I don't think Arteta and him have the best relationship. I think the old technical director brought him in actually. I'm not sure it was Arteta. He may have signed off it, but I'm not sure it's him. So, you guys tell me what I'm going to say. In my entire history, I have never seen this before, I don't think. Tell me what most people. I don't know guess, because I can't read me well enough. In my entire history, I've never seen this before. You know what I've never seen before? I have never seen, and maybe it has happened, and you guys can tell me, I have never seen a situation where a team play a game and then lose and then get so much praise. Including yours truly praising them. I have never seen a team that play a game and lose by 2 goals and get so much praise. Coach, I get a thumb deity, so we get in one stature. Players have been uplifted, club lifted, money aflow. I have never seen that before. Never. It's amazing. Now, if this happened to a track and field athlete, they probably get scolded. They probably get ostracized. So we're not, so we're not baller. If a track and field athlete go run, like they do Olympics, and come out second and third when we expect them to, but I guess it's about expectation too. Right? It shows you where we are in football, actually. Now, I think a lot of that praise and accolades and all that kudos they're getting is based on expectation, which is the feeling was that they'll probably get bombarded, especially what happened to Cincinnati last year, and they did well better this year. Now, I think the difference between Cincinnati, frankly, before the game, say it's about standards. No, it's more about expectation than standards, you know. So the standards would be about ability and capability and what we're competing in this region. The expectation is that based on where we are as a footballing nation and as a region, that we probably get blasted, especially since that teams that are world-class players, most of them are past their prime, but they're world-class players, right? And they play in a higher league. I don't think I've ever watched a game, a situation where the losing team got all the praise, actually. I don't think Inter Miami get much praise. The losing team played well. Losing team could have scored. Losing team could have won. We give all that, but they lost 2-0. But the amount of people said the manager for the team should be the coach of the Jamaican national team. That's what I mean. Yeah, there's a question. I was on a program where we talked about that. Should he be the coach for the national team? Should he do this? Should he do that? Now, I thought he did brilliantly in the press conferences. And by the way, I should probably play one that he did today. In the press conferences, before the game, after the game, probably during the game, whatever he's talking about, and his demeanor on the sideline, very, very professional. Much more so than when he comes on my program to fight with me. But anyway, very, very professional, very, very professional. Very, very professional. I know Flush why they got praise. I know why they got praise. As I said, it's about expectation. Because when I did the watch along, the predictions weren't nice. And yet they exceeded expectation. That's why they got praise, even though they lost. And we shouldn't forget that they lost. At the same time, we shouldn't forget that they gave a valiant effort. You don't get well, they exceed expectation. You get I'm telling you how bad we are in the region. We got 2-0 and we exceeded expectation. The lowest score I got on my channel when I did the watch along was 4-0. Some people say 8, some people say 6. Because Cincinnati gave 4 last year, and they got 2 and they could have won. They scored a goal which VAR overturned, and it was very, very close. They had a clear-cut chance with Calvin on the right-hand side. People, have a question for you on that Calvin try. Was it a control or did he try to score? Because Jason Gunn is telling me he's trying to control with his left foot. I didn't think so. I thought he was trying to guide it in with his left foot, the outside of his left foot in the goal. Oh, in regards to Miami. Okay. But I thought Calvin was trying to guide the ball in. So he put his left boot up to hit his outside of his left foot in the net. People say you couldn't control the ball that way. That'd be very awkward trying to control it. Right? Why wouldn't he use his right thigh to control it if that was the case? Or I don't know why he didn't head the ball in the goal, to be honest. I think that's a header for me. Anyway, let's listen to the press conference. If I can play it, I'm gonna try to play it. That was held today with Cavaliers. I didn't capture the Mascherano press conference. I didn't really care. I want to focus on Cavaliers. I think he tried to score Ricardo. I don't understand people say trying to control the ball. Not making any sense to me. I thought he tried to guide it in, but he doesn't trust his right foot, so he uses the outside of his left foot, which he probably had more control over, to try to guide it into the goal. I thought that's what he was doing. It was an easy header, though. I agree with you. Let's see if we can hear this press conference. I haven't watched it on people, so bear with me.
Game that you're going to apply in this particular game.
Right. Hey, hold on. Let me go back
to the Matchday -1 press conference for Cavalier FC. We have with us here at the head table Coach Rudolph Speed and player Shad San Milan. For the press that are present, please go ahead and ask your question.
Our coach, MG Sports here. First of all, congratulations on a good performance, not the result that you won, but I do believe that you'd have been impressed with the performance from the team. Now that this is the next fixture, the Inter Miami away fixture, you're at home now, quite comfortable in front of your supporters, which you expect to get a good amount of support. What information would you think that you'd have taken away from that away game that you're going to apply in this particular game?
Right. So no matter how you look on television or you review games, seeing the players in real life is usually a better assessment of what you're up against. And then it is even better when your team would have played against a team before. You can see the individual matches, and then it can decide how you decide to approach a game based on what you see.
All right, coach. And that basically you're saying you've got enough information to approach this game.
Yes.
Now, with the uncertainty around Lionel Messi, everyone is really asking that question. What's your thoughts on that? And would you put in prior preparation for the inclusion of him?
Yeah, and I'm happy that he'll come. I'm not the type of coach that wants player not to play to win a game. I want him to come. I want him to play. I want our players to do the best that they can do against him. But the truth is, we always had a plan if he played or if he did not play.
All right, coach.
Good morning, coach.
Morning.
All right, so Miami is entering this game with a 2-goal advantage. Do you expect them to, play a different style of football compared to the first leg? And if so, are you prepared for that?
No, I don't. I think they'll play the same way they have played against all teams. Try to score as much goal as they can. One thing we know that our choice is clear. We must score the first goal and keep them off the score sheet.
All right, coach. So you were looking at a traditional style in the first leg. So you expect them to play the same way. Is that the same tactic you're going into this game?
No, Cavalier is a very flexible team. We can play like that if we want. We just thought that at that particular point in time, that was the game we're supposed to play. Of course, we have other things into consideration now, which we'll be trying to explain.
All right, coach. And finally, can you give us an update on the injury on Adrian Reed? How is he doing?
Yeah, not good. He's a touch and go, but he's in the squad.
Coach, Daniel McLeod here from TVJ Sports. Historically, no Jamaican team has won a game at this stage of the competition. Talk to me about what it would mean to you and the team if you guys were to overturn the deficit.
Well, at this particular time, our aim is to play better than we did in the first leg. Of course, it's not just mean to us. I think this is a Jamaican effort. Jamaica need to do well, so we can be taken more serious. Our players will be taken more serious. I think so far we have done well, but our aim is to do better. So it's not a personal thing; it's a country thing.
And on a realistic level, do you believe that you guys can actually beat Inter Miami come tomorrow?
One, they never saw the first game, and second, you don't know anything about Cavalier. We strive on adversity, strive on it. Every time them write us off, even the Champions League, they say we couldn't pass the first round. We won it. Just to give you an example, we're going to get 6-love in the Premier League final. We won it. So we strive on adversity. Don't worry. We like these situations.
All right. Good morning, Coach. Ryan Dixon here from Sun City Radio. Again, congratulations on a good showing in the first round. My question is, how were you able to prepare the squad to perform under the bright lights, considering the high profile of the Miami FC team that they were going up against, and to have, put up the performance they did? And also, how will they also prepare for tomorrow's encounter in the second leg?
Well, it was a matter of, speaking to the players, let them know that, of course, these are marvelous players, exceptional players, but they are still human. They have some strengths, but we had some too. And we just exploited their weaknesses. But everybody does have strengths and weaknesses. and we played to our strength. So that is what we did. Come tomorrow, more of the same. We're playing to our strength as much as possible and trying to minimize the strengths that they have, which we know they are considerable amount.
And final question: do you have what are the expected changes from the first round to the first leg to the second leg?
I wish, you know.
Shad, in terms of from a player's perspective, there would probably be nerves in that first leg, knowing the team that you are going up against and all the talk before. What has been the talk amongst the players, the preparation so far? You guys are a lot more relaxed compared to the first leg.
Well, obviously, when you're going to play a game in the round of 16 of the Concacaf Champions Cup, obviously you have to go with a different mindset. Well, but I think as a team where all the players were very unit, it's a very good vibes in there. So I think we're all positive and confident. I don't really think there's a lot of nerves. We know that it's a very big game, but we're going to go in with the same mindset and try to win the game.
Coach Speed, in terms of the mental preparation, as you mentioned, Cavalier known to overcome adversity, coming from behind, overcoming odds. How important has the mental preparation been, knowing that not only are you guys down, but there is a chance to make history against a team that everybody wants to make the next round?
Last part was very good. That is actually true. But, one of the things that we look at, we try to normalize the team as much as possible. I don't believe there are some advantages that we have. If you look at everybody bird paper, we have pace more than every other country in the world. I still don't believe that they're unbeatable because there's weaknesses. I also believe that 2-0 is kind of a little tricky, advantage, because if the other team score one, then the team will probably naturally try to back up on it. One thing I know is that we would have earned their respect, so they're not going to just come and leave spaces behind and the backline raggedy like they did before. So I'm expecting them to switch tactics just a little bit, and if they do, I'm looking at trying to exploit those.
Yeah, one more. In terms of the first leg, you guys didn't play prior because of what happened in the Premier League. Playing on Sunday, how would you look at that? Do you think that it kind of helped the team to get some minutes in preparing, or you find it somewhat of a disadvantage that you weren't able to get the full rest?
No, I always look at the positive side. Some players that, we started at not the normal 11 that started again. So some players got some game. We might need those players for the game next tomorrow. So I thought it was positive.
Coach, you have a younger squad in comparison to this Miami team. How are you looking to use that to your advantage?
I think we have a young professional team in the world, not just Miami, Inter Miami. But this has always been our MO. We use young players. One of the things about that, there's no fear. They don't generate fear like some other players would have been there. And I think that is what we'll be using to our advantage. This is a winning team. This is an experienced team. We have played almost 20 international club competition games. We have played a lot in this region. We understand what the region has to offer. And what I'm looking for is the improvements. Last year, I thought against Cincinnati, we were like poor, just hanging on for dear life from the first whistle. This time, we show that we can compete, and that's where we want to be.
Coach MJ Sports here again. So far this season, you guys have been struggling in the Premier League where goal scoring is concerned. Would have seen that as well in the last match versus Inter Miami. Gotten a few chance and couldn't put it away. Over a few days, would have taken that in consideration and doing some work in that specific area.
Yeah, there will be changes, but I wouldn't say we're struggling in the Premier League. I think we're third in goal scoring. Inter Miami, yeah, we got some chances. But football is a game of small margins. I thought just a little bit more margin than in our favor we would have scored. So we actually did get the ball in the back of it. So I'm not worried about that. I'm worried about the game on a whole. Look at the game and And because if you play that well, chances will come. We'll have enough marksman to put them.
Or Coach Ryan Dixon again from Sun City Radio. It has been observed, well, it's of my opinion, that Cavaliers FC was undone by some of the calls that were not favorable towards your team. Do you see any possible changes coming for this match, considering it's a home match? And will VAR also be implemented in this home game?
Yeah, VAR is a staple at this stage of the competition. I thought that, some calls could have gone the other way. The truth is, the problem with VAR is that there's too many opinions, because it's the opinion of the ref in the box and the opinion of the ref on the field. So that's one of the distractions about VAR. There's too many opinions. I would have preferred there's only one opinion.
Question for chat. Question for chat. 1, 2. You guys did fairly well in the first game. Talk to me about how much confidence the team has looking ahead to tomorrow.
Well, I think in whatever games we're going to play against, we're a very confident team. I do think, as you guys seen, we have the strength to do it. We played a very good game, especially a good first half. We were supposed to lead 1-0, but we're going very confident. I think we've worked on it at training during the week about what we should do about the plan of the game, and I think we're very confident and we can go and get this win tomorrow.
We thank the coach for joining us and the player from Cavalier FC. That concludes the Matchday -1 press.
So that was player and coach from Cavalier talking about or taking questions from the press about tomorrow's game. I think some of the questions were actually good. I had my own questions that I would love to be able to ask in that forum. But I thought some of the questions were good. Notice Rudolph mentioned Rudolph always talking about flexibility in terms of how you play, and that's an interesting concept. Because I know what is Cavalier's style of play? I could never really tell. I know they were trying to play counter-attacking football, as he would say, it's their transition versus just counter-attacking. But I still couldn't tell their style of play watching them play a few games in the JPL. So maybe you guys can educate me on that. But I know he mentioned the whole flexibility thing. I think one of the questions should be, his team had chances to progress the ball well when they won the ball, which they did a lot, especially when Miami was attacking with a volume of players. And there was a lack of composure on the ball. They was trying to get it forward as quickly as possible versus making sure they get it forward and it reached their teammate. I think that question should have been asked. I think that was one of my key observations, actually. Also, the fact that another question to me should have been around, the Miami team is slow. So will he still employ the same tactic, even though they may want to stay deeper? They're slow, they're not as quick, even though they're technically gifted. That was a question I also thought. Okay, wouldn't want to say they play different. Okay. Also, there was no question about Messi playing. But I think there was one question about Messi playing. My question would be around, if he plays, are you going to man-mark him? Are you going to zone him? What are you going to do? Because I'd be curious to hear that. Me personally, I'm playing a box on one on him because he's always looking to score. Also, were there any surprise on the first leg in how they prepared and how they played? And does he have any planned surprises tomorrow? And then I would ask a more controversial question, which is this. There are some perspective, including this host, that thought he was late with his changes, given his team was tiring and how hard they work. Does he agree with that assessment? And any plans to maybe change and be more active or proactive in how he does that for tomorrow's game? So it should be interesting. When I looked at both teams, though, here's what I see. Cavaliers was really well organized defensively. They have a very compact defensive structure. They limit Inter Miami's clear-cut chances. When they won the ball, they try to get the ball forward as quick as possible. The part of their problem was Stein was up front. Stein, if you watch this program, anybody to talk to you, you need to go to the gym, son. You were very light. I'll be nice in my statement. Very light. You got pushed off the ball too easily. When people are playing football at that level, they expect the center forward to hold the ball up and either get fouled or they maintain possession. Now, sometimes you don't have anybody close to him to lay it off to, but he's got to be stronger. And another strength, apart from defensive organization, was their counterattacking. They're quick. Well, there was probably a couple more. They were quick. They try to get from the transition pretty quickly from defense to offense. And I think they had one time where they hit the post on one of those transition play. But they need to be more careful with the ball. They couldn't keep possession, which is a problem that we have in the Caribbean. It's not just Jamaica. Retaining possession is something we're challenged with. And that needs to change, and that's about coaching, actually. Well, but Ricardo, he can decide what he wants to do. I'm going to ask the question. You can be in a press conference and ask a question about Messi, even 2 or 3 questions. In terms of what I call developmental areas for Cavaliers, I think they're vulnerable to set piece. I thought they struggled on set pieces somewhat, even though, one goal came from set piece, right? Even though it was set up after the fact. And as I mentioned before, the possession retention was awful. They have to improve on that. You can't play at this level and you can't keep the ball. Now, for Inter Miami, I thought they adapted really well without Messi. Keep the ball well, move the ball well, very, very technical. And they sort of increased their attacking tempo in the second half. But I think they struggled transitioning from offense to defense, significantly struggled. And Cavaliers obviously had chances to score, did score, won the back in the net. Calvin got a great chance. They hit the upright. So, but with Messi, they're a different team, right? Because Messi's such a different player. So let's see if he plays tomorrow. Even if he's in Jamaica, let's see if he plays tomorrow. I think the strategy for Cavaliers should be this. What they're doing, what they did last game, I don't think Miami going to change. They ain't going to get no quicker. Got to hit them on the counter. But when you get the ball, you have to hold on to the ball. Right? You got to be able to move the ball up the field without rushing, just make the long pass once. You can make 2 or 3 passes and get up the field. You ain't going to make the first pass that you see or hope to see. Right? And I think they probably should mix up their press. They need to score early and score first, because to me, 2-love lead is the worst lead to have, because it lets you relax someone. Okay, they score, as Rudolph says. The problem for Cavaliers is they can't allow Miami to score. Then they got to score 4 goals, right? That doesn't work. So they have to keep a clean sheet. At the same time, score early and score more than 1. Big up, Ernest. Thanks for joining. They should mix up their press. They should probably press high early in the game to try to get a goal. And then if they score, they can do more mid-block and then try to counter and get another goal. I would think Miami probably going to be a little more aggressive. They're going to keep the ball as they normally do. And if they have Messi, they have somebody who can score in a whim. So it's going to be interesting how that sort of works out. But it should be a good game. I'm looking forward to it, actually. And I will do a watch along. It should be a good game. I expect Cavalier to give a good account of themselves again. He seemed to have everybody available except maybe Agent Reed maybe have a knock. So he mentioned that he's in the squad but may not be doing well. He also mentioned there's going to be changes. I'm curious to see who's going to bring in, who's going to be left out. I wasn't impressed with Stein in the first game. I know he's one of the better players. I wasn't impressed with him. And in the game, I don't think Cavaliers had a lot of standout players. They just played. I mean, they played well as a team. I don't think anybody was a standout player in the field. I think King had moments. I think, was it that Lang who played beside King? I think he was probably the best defender on the night in terms of defending and necessarily composing the ball. He gave away a goal, so you have to sort of manage what rating he got. I think that ball that Suárez scored, he has to do better than that. But I thought the team played well, worked really hard. Calvin could have been the hero, frankly. If he scored that ball that people say he tried to control, I think he tried to score. That would be a different game, actually, because Miami would have to press more, and they're very vulnerable to the counter. Extremely vulnerable to the counter. I don't think I've seen a slower team in a long time. They're slow as molasses, even though they're very good technically. Very, very slow. And Cavaliers going to be at home. There are a lot of advantages. The stadium is going to be rocking. They're going to be at home. The field have certain bounces that they should be used to that Miami's not used to. They are quicker. They are probably just as fit or fitter. They're younger. They have more energy. They have to use their athleticism as their major attribute or most significant attribute for this game, because they don't have Miami's technical ability And they have to pressure the ball, force them to make, because no matter how technical you are, pressure bust pipe, they can put pressure on them. So I hope they pressure the ball. If you want to call in, people can call into the number 347-728-8625 and tell me what your thoughts are for the game tomorrow. Are you going to watch the game? Are you going out to Jamaica to watch Messi? What your views are? How you think Cavaliers did in the first game? What you expect in the second game? Anything different? It's going to be the same thing, same outcome. And do you expect them to win, given the laudatory comments they have received from the first game, given how well they played, and how optimistic the coach sounded? Because one thing people have mentioned in the chat, which I totally agree with, Cavaliers coach is a very confident man. Whoa, this is a tough comment. Flash G said, "Cranky, just for fun. What do you think if Cavaliers played a UEFA Champions League team? As a matter of fact, how would you Inter Miami do?" That's a very good question, actually. It's hard to judge, frankly. The question is, which Champions League team? There are 30-something teams in Champions League. Is it number 34 team, or is it a Liverpool or Man City or Man U? Or, oh, I'm sorry, Drew Ross. I almost said Man U. I apologize. You guys that don't deal with people in Champions League, you guys I've banned them from your grounds. I apologize, Drew Ross. If you're still in the chat, Drew Ross, I apologize profusely. People, I apologize if I said that. Man U has banned Champions League from their ground, so it doesn't apply to them. But for the teams in Champions League, like Bruges or Juventus or any of those teams, Madrid, it depends on where the teams sit. Because remember, those teams come and play MLS teams sometimes, Champions League team come on, Liverpool, they come and play MLS team, and they don't score 6 and 10. Now it's preseason. Right? Would they be competitive? I don't think it would be competitive in that sense, but I don't think they would get slaughtered. I think they would get slaughtered. The least of these, I don't think they would get slaughtered. I don't think Miami would get slaughtered. I think Cavaliers would struggle. Because they would be athletic as Cavaliers and more technical, so they would struggle. But I think Miami would not be embarrassed. I don't think they'd be embarrassed. Well, I think Cavaliers, look, as Rudolph says, he has the youngest team. He says the youngest team in sports or something. I don't know how we make these sweeping comments, people, when we don't know every professional team across the globe. You can't make those comments. You can say your team is extremely young and you believe they're one of the youngest. You can't say they're the youngest. You don't know. It could be a team in Ghana in a pro league that's young as you are. There could be a team like Veer that has a bunch of high school footballers, even though I don't know what Veer's average age is. But you can't say they're the youngest. You make these sweeping comments and I don't agree with those comments. The squad is 20 years. The starting 11 was 22 years, right? There's a difference. But even at 20 years, you can't say the youngest team. You can say you think you're one of the youngest team. You can't definitively say so because you don't know. You don't know every professional team that's across the globe. I like when some radio station like TalkSport said they're the biggest radio station on earth. Did they really know that? They think they are, but do they know that? What's judging their size? The revenues they generate? The amount of listeners they have? How they make that determination? Have they done due diligence and survey to figure that out? When we make these sweeping comments, we got to be careful with those comments. When one says MLS players are in season fully fit and Prem teams are not fit when they play. Well, that's true, but I'm just saying they don't embarrass them. So still football, they're not embarrassing them. Isn't Cranky TV the biggest on YouTube? It may be the best, but it's not the biggest. I'm gonna be like Speed. I'll be confident. Maybe the best, but it's not the biggest, LJ. It's not the biggest. In fact, it's so small, it's ridiculous. That's why I'm gonna trade in the show. I'm gonna trade in Cranky for different topics. I'm gonna stop to the sport thing. I'm not giving enough support. Not enough. And then we talk about social matters. You want to see how me get viewers? We went from about 2,400 the other day to about 2,500 because we drop about 3 or 4 video on Trump. And enough MAGA people are coming on my channel now and I try to beat me. I mean, if me get views, me take the beating. Huh? See, no, Speed said, no. I said I believe I'm the best, but I know I'm not the biggest. There's a difference. He said his team is the youngest professional team. I'm saying you can't say it is. You can say you believe it is. There's a difference, right? Belief is not a definitive actuality. It's not. If you believe something, it's a bit different. Just like when my friend believe in certain deity, and we won't go there. We'll leave it alone because he's in the chat. By the way, people, let me just say this. If you're a pastor in the chat, if you're a religious person, come can't find, or if anybody know pastor, I do want to debate someone on religion and on spirituality and on the whole concept of deity. I want to have a debate with somebody. And I'm not an expert. I'm just a lay person. Just want to show you how bad this is. I'm a lay person, so I don't know nothing about religion and so. I just want to talk as I think a logical person and have a debate on my channel. So that should be interesting. If I can get past that debate me, or even, for example, man is a pastor. Man is want to come debate me. I would love to have that debate. Love it, people. Love it. We can do a two. If you have a channel, we can do a one pound film channel, one pound man channel. I would love that debate. I throw it out in the public domain. You can talk about Christianity, and because some of these people are learned, they've gone to school, they've gone to divinity school, they have learned religious school, they've done this. I am just a lay person having a conversation. Who is Gringo? Yes, Float. I want to debate, Pastor. I want to debate somebody about that. Oh, religion, Jesus, those type of. I want to have that conversation. You can pick the topic in that field. I want to have a debate on that. Really interesting. I'd love to have a debate. Okay, yeah, no, next time he come on, he and I are supposed to debate him, but this pastor don't always come on, so I'd love to debate him. Okay, no, pastor is a very learned person. And you get a couple of different religions. Yeah, so if somebody's a Muslim, if you're a Christian, whatever those are, I'd love to have a conversation, a panel discussion. We can talk about some of these things. By the way, people, because some people believe this, I am not an atheist. Let me be clear on that. I'm not an atheist. I wouldn't even say I'm agnostic. I would just say I'm not religious. And there's some things which bothers me. That's when I have these conversations. So I'm not an atheist in the traditional sense. But I don't have the same views about certain things as a lot of people in those religions do. I'm not a religion. I'm not affiliated with any religion, by the way. But I want to make sure it's clear that I'm not an atheist. Because people say, boy, you're atheist, like, oh, you this and that. And on the Jamaican stay. And I have a gun on the right hip and a Bible on the left hand. And I want to stay. So that's what we can't believe in a religion thing. Our country that have more church than anyone per capita. Have the Bible in the right hand and the Bible in the left hand and the gun in the right hand. I understand that. Am I a believer? Believe what? I believe my channel, my channel is the best. That's what I believe. Before the game, I believe. I know it's not the biggest, as Jay said. It's far from being the biggest. Frankly, it's struggling with viewership. And if someone's gonna ask me, if you think yours the best, why do you get more viewership? I'm learning the ropes. Learning the ropes. But no, back to the football. So what's the prediction for tomorrow, people? What's the prediction? And by the way, people, we're here tomorrow to watch the game. What time is the game? Because it's daylight saving time in the US now. Daylight saving time. And last year, Cavaliers lost what? They lost 4-0 and 2-0, so we'll see. By the way, Cavaliers already won, people. Cavaliers win early. There are 2 games, right? There's 2 games. In fact, there are 3 games. There are 3 games being played. 3 games. There's the game before the game. There's the game itself. And then there's the money. Cavaliers already won. Cavaliers already won. They have won monetarily. They have won the people's mind and hearts. They have won expectation. They just haven't won on the field. 8 p.m. I was trying to look it up and on. Tomorrow, Thursday, Cavaliers. Yep, 2000. 8 p.m. Cavaliers into Miami. Fox Sports 2, and I assume that is ESPN Caribbean, I would assume. ESPN Caribbean, yep, in Jamaica. Bless up, Ricardo. Yeah, I mean, am I a believer? I believe Cavaliers will give a good performance themselves tomorrow. I'm a believer in that. But Cavaliers win big time. We've been big time. I mean, no matter what happens tomorrow, unless them get like 6 or 8 and disappoint the crowd, because a big crowd, people. Okay, so Jamaica not really going on game now. They're going to the stadium now, unless Chris Brown did it, Unless some freedom concert I keep, unless champs I keep, they're not got no stadium. They're not gonna watch no football on large masses. I would say they did well to the last Jamaica game and give a decent showing, but traditionally they're not that. Yeah, it's gonna be an interesting game actually. I hope they give a good account of themselves. I think they will. I think they're very encouraged. Here's the thing, people. I think Miami gave the team confidence. That make any sense? I don't think Cincinnati gave them any confidence last year. I think Cincinnati just slapped them and boxed them last year, and they never really do much with Cincinnati last year. And the second leg was even worse than the first leg. I think Miami gave them confidence, and especially since they missed goals and had chances and could have scored. Yeah. So how much is the ticket, Adrian? You said the tickets are cheap. I thought that I thought grandstand was like $100 US, and bleachers varied, right? So how much is the ticket? Because when I go to Jamaican, I normally try to go grandstand. I like to be on the halfway line, so even though I'm not going for this game. Bless up, Jason Gooner. How much are the tickets? Are the tickets, because you're saying, Adrian, you're saying you can't believe tickets are cheap. Maybe they're going to be a secondary market for tickets, and I'm sure people are going to go to the stadium without no ticket. 300 US right now? People, 300 US not cheap. Now, is that for grandstand, CC? It says 20 and 30. That must be bleachers. They see the number now and go. I'm sure grandstand are hundreds of dollars. Especially, normally what happens, the ticket price go 3, 4, 5-fold. So, yeah. Some people don't believe that you want Cavaliers to do well. So, it's not Cavaliers though, people, but it's Cavalier. I've been educated on that. So, let me ask you that question. Why would anybody believe that I don't want Cavalier to do well? Please explain to me. Call me and tell me. Why don't you want Cavaliers to do well? And if you watch the first stream, did you watch along? Did I sound like I don't want Cavaliers to do well? I'm curious, people. Why would anybody think that? Before the game, he said some people think I don't want Cavaliers to do well. Please tell me why. I hope I can't conflate two things, What people don't think is because me may have running with the Cavaliers coach that I don't want Cavaliers to do well. Why that be the case? This is two different things. I want to mix up the thing them. Yeah, and I would agree win. Inter Miami can't run. I know them win game. Can't run. But no, people, there is no reason why I would want Cavalier not to do well. In every way, shape, or form. I'm glad they're doing well financially. I count their money too. And probably now about the 7-figure range by them done, even though they're complaining about no money for security. Of course, Triple E, kind of mad. People think people, I don't take these shows think personally, If you see me, you may see me and Rudolph fight on the channel, right? And you may see me beat Rudolph because he deserve beating. So I beat him. But when the game done, me the first one text Rudolph and say congrats, In fact, you know what? Now look it up. I send Rudolph a message after the game done. I'll tell him what Bruce after Rudolph. By the way, I'm not disclosing the confidential. Because me and Rudolph have conversation. What's not for public domain, me not do it. But I text him and says, what did I say? And I read the first part of what I say. But what I say to him is that I said I was proud of the entirety of what transpired with your team, from your interviews, game strategy, post-interview. And I said, good luck on the second leg. I'm saying, by the way, still I beat you. What the things I'm going to beat you about. Now, put it that way there, but that me say, no, make it mix up. Me congratulate you, but me still I beat you, I beat you about it, not change my mind. And he came back and says, I'm going to tell you what he says, because it's not confidential. Thank you, and we always try to make our country proud. People are civil conversation. Because you see me and Rudolph a fight in a public domain about certain things, but me not agree with them, Rudolph and I are grown people. Grown people. See me answer? So we can agree to disagree. We may call him a certain name card that we believe in, but me and Rudolph different from me and Toxic Boss. That's a totally different thing. Me not deal with toxic people. Toxic Boss have to go. And I toxic people. Me never communicate with Toxic Boss. So me won't take out my phone and text Toxic Boss. Me I tell you that right now. Me nah do that. Nah deal with him. Don't want to deal with him. Don't want to engage with him. Don't want to be in the same vicinity. And me don't want to change that either. Me want to stay that way there. Me not really stay that way now, people. Me believe in compromising, engaging. There's certain people in life, you just cancel them. Rudolph can't cancel me if he wants to, because I may beat him. He not beat me in the public. So me I beat him. But me I beat him, but me think about what is right. I'm a principle about it. You know what I'm saying? Me I beat one thing, but it's right. Me not beat Rudolph, because me just want to beat Rudolph, so about certain things. It's some principles thing that me I talk to him about, and me take that public domain, because I not agree with him, and me not change my mind about that. Not happen. But if Rudolph do well, me I congratulate him. And normally he comes back to me very civil. Right? He not say, go ahead, me no want no good luck charm from you. He not say that. I'm very professional. Very professional. And me believes that Rudolph understands me I beat him because I'm a principled person. Me not beat him because I don't like him. I tell people from all the time, Rudolph, I'm my first interview on the channel. Yeah. So if me and Rudolph never have any engagement, why wouldn't it be my first interview and him take me interview when him there Europe 2 o'clock in the morning? And I appreciated that. But there's principle in life. Mr. Charles Barkley and Michael Jordan, my best friend. I know them. They're not best friend. Michael not like Charles, and Charles still want to talk to Michael. Rudolph already communicate with me per se. But here's the thing too. He said Rudolph come up the channel the other day, people. When Rudolph and I had the back and forth, come and beat him. I not really beat him. I not really beat either. I bring out certain things. Rudolph text me afterwards and invite me to a meeting about something else. You know? I don't know them thing there. Rudolph text me and invite me to a meeting. When we were having before the women's league start, Rudolph text me and invite me. So I don't think Rudolph dislike me. He probably not appreciate me saying certain things. And look at, you know what? Me now get out of my feelings of that, because me agreed with Rudolph. If you beat me, me push back on you, which he has done. And me can appreciate that. You see, LeBron James walk up in a Stephen A. Smith the other day face. Same I deal with him youth a certain way, no, him deal with him youth a certain way there. When him at the same when I put him youth out there and I curry fever and get the youth on him basketball team. You have to get beaten for them. And Stephen A. never really beat him, son. But him a complain. So if Rudolph push back on me can't say nothing. Me I say Rudolph. When Rudolph, sometimes Rudolph get vexed with me and push back on me now. I'm not going to tell you what him say about me. Him push back on me. And me just said, he might have to push back. And ask Rudolph for me when he push back on me though. Me not cuss him out, you know. Me said him a few things. Explain to him that I don't agree. We need a boxing match. Now I'm too old for fight, man. Don't the fighting thing. Don't the fighting thing. Don't the fighting thing. The fighting thing. Now I would have done a fight. Would have bigger fish to fry. I'm gonna try fry messy fish tomorrow. Would have now. Good evening. Wait, hold up, Cece. We don't know. Cece. Hello. Wait, one second. This thing is not coming through. I don't know why it's not picking up. Hold up. All right, go ahead, Cece. Go ahead, Cece. You sent me what?
The information with the grandstand tickets.
Oh, okay. I don't see it come through. Yeah, hold on.
No,
okay. No, it did come through. Because
that's why I was saying the person who see $30 and $20 them there bleachers is $302.75 at the grandstand.
Wow. So I assume that you're going. Cece, are you there?
And I did it.
I assume that you're going to the game. I want to CC start. You're not here, CC?
No. Yes. Cranky. No. I won't be there.
Why aren't you going to the game, CC? Me see I got a women's game. You're big announcer part where you're too big for this now. Can I give you no announcing role? You not go. Is that why you not go?
No. I'm not in the vicinity to go.
Oh, you're not in the vicinity? You mean you're not in Jamaica?
Yeah.
Oh, no. People. Nobody not look for you, CC. Hey, people. I know Jamaica. Me used to say no people. Is it in Jamaica? You ask them. So how you doing? Blah blah whatever. Where are you? I'm not in Jamaica. I'm not in the vicinity. That is in Jamaica. Where you there? Then I tell you like somebody I look for them. Nobody not look for no. I'm not in the vicinity. What a big vicinity. It's not here at all. All right.
I'm not in Jamaica, man. So that's why.
Oh, okay. Oh, okay, you can leave Jamaica when Messi play. I understand. If me leave Jamaica, I forgot Messi game. You know? Just to say I was there.
Well, guess what happens? Sometimes you have things that is more important than Messi. Maybe we'll get to see Messi at some point in time. I mean, probably this season, see him at the Club World Cup. So
yeah, you know what? A good point you make because the Club World Cup is on the East Coast. You know what? I'll probably go to a couple games and I'm trying to figure that out.
I go a couple game on the Club World Cup.
Yeah, I have to look at that.
Because I want to go probably a couple of games in the Club World Cup and go to a game in the Gold Cup. I don't even know all that will happen.
You have to go West Coast to Gold Cup game, you know.
But the Gold Cup and the Club World Cup is going to be.
Yeah, but I think the Gold Cup playing on the West Coast and the East Coast, where the important people are, is where the Club World Cup is being played.
Oh my Lord! So I might not even get to. You know, I might not get to watch Jamaica any time.
Yeah. You have to travel from East to West. You have a flight too, because a 6-hour flight to California.
The Club World Cup because I got Chelsea game. I make sure I put that down on my calendar. Go watch Chelsea.
Okay.
And then I go watch Inter Miami. I put it down in my calendar, man, because I know for a fact that Chelsea can't be coming to play the Club World Cup in America and me not there. No, sir.
I have to look into that now because I haven't looked into tickets or anything.
But one thing I know, Cranky, all the people are going beat me and say, oh, man, Messi hater. Let me not go the match and this and that. I'm like...
So are you a Messi hater?
No. I had certain plans in place before.
Okay. So wait, when are we gonna see you on TV again, commentating on games? Because I got feedback on your performances, so we want to see you more on TV because I like to have associates or in the public forum on traditional TV.
Well, Cranky, to be honest, I'm not sure, but I mean, we're kind of still a work on it because sometimes I don't say familiarity.
Breeds contempt?
Yeah. And I think because some people are familiar with me, it's like, I don't know, it's like all right, for example, I remember I did that game, when I did the game, I said, what a wonderful cross. You know, somebody said to me, How can I use wonderful and Jamaica in the same sentence?
Wow.
I'm like,
what do you mean wonderful and Jamaica? Jamaica's not a wonderful thing.
Jamaica Premier League players.
Oh.
So
Yeah, but you can
saying my verbiage.
Yeah. You know what you should tell them? Go away. Go away. That's what I would say. What do you mean? You can use wonderful with any player in any situation. If the cross is a very good cross, like Sterling crossed it to Rice, it's a brilliant cross. No matter what league you're playing, you can say it's a very good cross. I don't understand that concept, that idea. May I say just go away.
But that's the thing. But that's the thing, Cranky. I'm saying to them that I cannot be on something a live showing and talk. I'm not telling you, the artists, just like for example, the easiest game to probably commentate is when you have a plethora of quality players.
True. Yeah, because the ball, yes. Because the place continues.
And plus you have several information on them. The data and for example, today when Atletico Madrid is playing Real Madrid, the amount of data that is available for those players, it's much easier. The environment might be what I call it much stricter, but it's easier. But when you're commentating on a lower quality game, then and you have players who aren't as familiar and information is not readily available for some of these players, it's much more difficult. So when people are expecting you to know they are expecting you to know 30 players from one team and 30. They're expecting you to know at least 50 players. And I'm saying that in a game, you don't necessarily need to know 50 players. You need to know the key players who you think can make an impact on the outcome of the game. So if you name 5 players from either team and then during the course of the game, you highlight those players and highlight other players that you think can make an impact. However, when you're looking at a better quality team, right? When they say Arsenal, Chelsea, all of those clubs, you basically
I know you didn't mention Man U, but keep going. I didn't mention Man U.
No, but I mean you can basically name the 18 that's there.
Right.
You can name all who is on the bench and say any one of these players can come on and give an impact. But it's a different scenario when you're talking about a lesser quality game. And I think that's where a lot of persons don't necessarily they don't necessarily understand to differentiate between that. I know if name pronunciation and those things, that's a different thing.
No, but here's what I would suggest to you if you're going to be in that environment. You don't have to know all the players directly, but at least have to have something, a cheat sheet to tell you who they are so you can talk about them, right? And you got to have notes beside each player because you want to inform your audience about the player. So if you're commentating in the game, you have to do your homework to make sure you have the information on each player, because it's important, because you're informing the audience about the players. It's very important, actually. Right? So you're telling them, they're looking to learn from you, because they probably, just like you, may not be familiar with some of these players. So you got to go do research and and jot down notes beside each of them. Because you notice that some of these commentators sound like they know all these players really well. Sometimes they don't, you know. If a Miami player, a commentator commentated on Jamaica, they didn't know the Cavaliers players really well, he would have done his homework, get his cheat sheet from his producer. What your producer do? Where's your producer who will give you all the information there? That's why the producer have job it's supposed to be now.
That's the thing though, like Cranky, I bring my own information. So
but your producer is supposed to give you information. The producer go do the research and give you all the data. You make sure the data is accurate, because you don't want to make yourself look bad, and then you talk about it. Or they should they should have double checked the data, make sure it's accurate. Yeah, man.
Yeah, so I mean, as I said before, though, the information, most of the information would have been presented by myself. Like I would go and research and get the information.
Somebody's disputing your view. They said that you said the past was surgical, like Dr. Dan surgeries, and they don't believe that's right. Because no surgical but Jamaica.
But I think, I'm telling you, the pass that I had mentioned, which was the pass that led to a goal, because the pass it's like it split the defense, went into the box, and
so you say it was precise. It went to the right place. So yes, it's penetrated.
The finishing, all you needed to do was touch the ball.
Okay,
and it went in
that's surgical. That's surgical.
Exactly. So so that's why I told him that the pass that is surgical is one in which the attacker needs to do little but nothing. Basically, the pass is more beautiful than the goal.
Right. So you said the pass was between defenders, split the defense, precise pass, right pace, right area, didn't have to break stride. That's surgical.
Exactly. So you don't have to do anything.
Yeah. That's surgical. I would agree with you. If that's the case, if what I'm saying is the case, then that's surgical. Bless up Jamaica family vibes.
That's when you would apply the word surgical.
Yes, I'd agree with that.
When the pass is more beautiful than the goal. Like people say, had the attacker just breathe on the ball, it would have been in the back of the net.
Right. Yeah. No. That's surgical. I understand what you're saying.
Yeah. But I mean, as I said, there's a lot of things, because somebody was saying to me that I wanted to sound like, what the guy named down in Spain? But I'm telling him that you have to use superlatives. Nobody, for example, when I said the Trinidadians sliced up Jamaican defense like a Domino's pizza guy on a Wednesday, except for completing the delivery, meaning that when you hear that, you know that they did not score.
Right. Hey, they created... people, on the right on the one. Maybe Ricardo, man said slice pizza. I know why Wednesday versus Thursday versus Saturday, but didn't deliver because they go in the score. I see that's why you're saying to deliver. Right, CC having one thing. Go on, CC.
Then I see when we tell him, say, I remember when in the girls' game, I said, something there. What's the girl name? What's her name? Jody. I was saying, what a magnificent turn, like a ballerina on ice.
Ah, okay. So you have these comparative, these analogies, these terms.
Yeah, because I remember, my thing is this. Is a triple E.
Okay. There's triple E in the chat today, but go ahead. Triple E in the chat.
No,
but
I don't always say triple E. My dad say educate, elevate, and entertain. Basically triple E.
And then you enunciate. So enough E's are going.
Yeah, so you want to ensure that you're educating, as I said, the audience in terms of being familiar with the players. You want to elevate their experience in terms of them watching the game. And you want to entertain so they don't get bored by listening to you. So, I mean...
Well, Ernest a fight. Ernest say, yeah, I'm war because him say Jordan play well, and you say him in bad mind. Cause you know Jamaica is hey, I don't love bad mind. So when bad mind, well, I not get nothing from that. Only for bad mind, CC. I don't love that term. It's a shut up term. It's a drop the mic term. The bad mind. It's embarrassing, don't it? It's the embarrassed person saying it.
There's a cranky when I can't say it go, man. The other say go, you say boy, bad mind like.
Yeah. The bad mind is supposed to mean envious, you know. I mean, say you grudge me, you know.
So when I say a bad mind, it stick them, man. Say
come here, then speed come your bad mind one time, you know.
Yeah,
speed is my bad mind. But me try to figure out my bad mind about that. Me try to understand now instead of bad mind. I'm saying bad mind.
But to be honest, no, I was telling him that Jody Brown what I saw from her, yes, she could have been more keeping, like in terms of keeping the ball better and be more clinical in her, going
Right.
forward and those things. But I saw enough from her to say, oh, the girl, she still have, like, she has that talent, and people think she's older than she is, but they don't know. Remember, she started playing for the Reggae Girls from she's 17. So I mean,
17 and
that's why
16,
when
young. She about what, 22 now?
16.
What, she about 22?
She's 20. Yeah, she's 22. So I think
Okay.
people will see her at 22, thinking that she's 28. It's just because she would have started to play from 6 years prior. So it's almost as if she's an older player, but she's a young player just the same. It's just that her experience is vast. So if you notice in the game that she played the next time when they came around in Peru, she brought it to the Peruvians. She like, so I'm saying to people that if Jody Brown is on her game and everything is going right, I don't see Jamaica losing a game with Jody Brown on the field with Bonisha and even Drew Spence.
Yeah, but I'm a take it a task there, CC. I watched Jody Brown in the World Cup. She was lost at sea. Now I know you're saying she's young, but she was playing the national team about 4 years by then. She was lost. And I wonder, a player has so much, because she has talent. She has talent, no doubt. But it's almost as if the stage was too much for her. She needs to learn how to play football. So you can have football gifts in it, but you know how to really play the game, how you position, how you think, her decision making. Yeah. Go ahead.
I'm gonna show you something which I shared and I said it before. I tell a lot of people, and the people not me for this, and nothing they say it on Management Channel, where I say some players when they're 16 and 17, when they're 22, they look the same. So my opinion is that most of these players in Jamaica, they have the technical skill set at 16, 17, 18, but nobody worked on their in terms of the tactical mindset, the tactical aspect of the game and the mindset of the game in terms of knowing space and time, awareness, all of those things. I don't think they have integrated that, because when I look at it, it's almost as if the coaches, when they were younger, benefited from the talent of the players, while the players did not benefit from the coaching. It's like you're in a job, cranky, and you get a degree, and you go to the work, and you would have worked at a place before for 3 years. When you go to the new job, you're not learning anything. They are gaining more from you than you're gaining from them. So 3 years down the line, you're still the guy with potential.
Get that from experience, easy. But keep going.
No, I was saying you're still the guy with potential and not the guy who can do. Okay. So that is why sometimes you have to choose the job that you want. For example, you come out of college, I think if you're an accountant, you want to go in at the audit firm first. Because when you go to the audit firm, you get certain type of experience that you would not get in corporate, because in corporate, you're dealing with one client.
Yep.
But when you're in audit now, you're dealing with several clients, different industries, and you understand, you get more a diversified approach in terms of going from the back, going from outside, going in terms of a regulatory framework. So when you go into a firm now doing one entity, then you can go from the front where you know what is required regulatory wise. So therefore, you know what to do in terms of the IFRS, IS, all of those things. So that's why I'm saying to you, when I looked at the players in terms of what is required internationally, what is required of them to go professional, I don't think they get that from the coaching, but they have the skill sets, are the basic skill sets and tools needed to go pro, but the mindset and everything that comes with it, they don't get it. So by the time they reach 22, 23, they're still the same player.
Yeah, I think Jody Brown's one of those players, to be honest. So when I saw her at 16, you know what the problem is? You know those individual skills you have where you're trickery, you can beat people, you can run both people, you're stronger than everybody else. Those attributes need to be developed and need to be evolved to make you a more complete player. And that doesn't happen to some of those kids. And as you're alluding to, which we've talked about a lot, the coaching is an imperative to get them to understand how to play, not just be able to beat people and run by people. You got to learn how to play the game.
Can I show you something? A Jamaican child, especially town kids, they live in like garrison areas, certain little small spaces, right? If you notice when they're playing football, 20 of them in a little space, and when you see them play and them dribble them turn, they have learned how to turn in tight spaces because it's so many of them and they play in a little compact space.
Right.
When that child now goes to high school and is playing with bigger field, he's showing all of that trickery. But guess what happened? We have not developed it past that stage.
Right.
So that's why I keep on telling persons, you can learn certain things off of your own because they're watching football and then take up them ball and go outside, go try some of these things. But when they go to the school now or go to an environment where they need coaching to get the refinement, that is not happening. And I think when you look at the player at 22 years old, you're still looking at, for example, Alex Marshall. Alex Marshall looked brilliant as a youngster. But if you look at him right now, the only thing that Alex Marshall has done in terms of his career is gotten older. He hasn't gotten in terms of better technically or better tactically and all of those things. He's just gotten older. And I think if you've gotten older, you have a bit more physical presence on those things so you can impose yourself a little bit more on the game. But you're the same player.
Right. Yeah, I mean, it's interesting. My hope is that when we see those people with those raw talent, that we can cultivate that talent and get them to maximize their potential. Because when you have the raw talent, to me, sometimes the hardest thing, But a lot of times it doesn't look like that's the case. It looks like being able to develop the players, evolve them, get them to be able to really good footballers.
And people don't understand that percentage of leaving. It's like, I think La Liga is the highest percentage of persons leaving from academy into professional football, because I think it's around.
So, you hear me all the time. I was especially when I talked to Rudolph in previous settings about the need to incorporate some things from Spain, learn what they do. Jamaica should be sending multiple delegations to different places in Spain and people. Seriously. JFF, when I hear me, because someone said I don't watch my channel, but someone don't watch my channel. I mean, well, Football Guru was in the chat, so I know he's JFF. Jamaica should send multiple delegations to Spain. You don't have to go back all the time. They should build a relationship, CC, and send multiple delegation there.
Spanish
to understand
are
football.
Really the best coaches right now.
Of course, they are the best coaches.
I'm going to give you a couple of examples that I've seen. Example, Unai Emery with Aston Villa. Right? We all know Unai Emery from Sevilla. Then you have the coach that took up the Spain team. This is a brand new coach, basically, rookie type coach, Then you have Javier Alonso.
Well, not rookie coach, he's an old coach, but he's been coaching in the B League and lower league for years.
In terms of, as I was saying, in terms of at that level.
Yeah.
Then you have Javier Alonso, who went in undefeated in Bayern Liga. Because that's Bayern Liga. For you to defeat and win the Bundesliga, you have to defeat Bayern, who went 11 times. That is Javier Alonso. But the biggest one you can see this season is Bournemouth. Bournemouth coach, I think is
Bournemouth. You mean Bournemouth?
Yeah, Bournemouth.
Yeah.
Their coach is a Spanish coach, and look at how they are performing above their budget. I think.
It's all across Europe. First of all, I've said this numerous times before. They have the most Europa licensed coaches, right? They have the most. So we call pro licensed coaches, the European equivalent. They have the most in the world by a good margin. PSG coach, Pep, Arteta, Bournemouth, Bayer Leverkusen, isn't Crystal Palace coach, I think, but enough of them. A lot of them out there.
The biggest thing though, Cranky, which I think they're not focusing on, 3% of English academies matriculate to professional football. 20-something% of La Liga academies matriculate to pro football. What is that saying? That the amount of the fact of the matter is the amount of youngster that comes through the Spanish setup is more likely to go on and have a professional career
because of the coaching. Is the coaching
exactly? Coaching. So if you look at that, if we should do a deep dive, and if I went into France, I think France has a higher. England to me,
because France has national programs around this. France have national programs.
Exactly. England have the lowest conversion of academic players going matriculated to professional football. They have the lowest. So if you're going into a country with the lowest, in the last 5 World Cups or so, look at it like this, Cranky. All the top 5 leagues in the world is England, Spain, France, Italy, Germany, right?
Well, I don't think that's how they're ranked, but they're all in the top.
No, I'm just saying the 5.
Right. Yeah, that's a 5.
But of the 5 of them, between 1998 and now, which team has neither won a Euro nor a World Cup?
Which team? That's England.
That's England.
But they come close twice though. They've been 2 consecutive finals.
Won a World Cup. What I'm saying, France has won a World Cup and a Euro. Spain has won a World Cup and a Euro. Italy has won a World Cup and a Euro.
I'm not gonna use that.
No,
because English have beat Italy.
No, But look what I'm saying to you in
Yeah.
terms of the players and in terms of this EPL is 67% foreign-based players. So
Right.
it simply means that England is an importation of talent. So when you look at the talent that is developed in England is not really great because compared to the other
No,
places.
see. I'll push back on that. Though. So here's my view on that.
Mhm.
You know, the NBA is about 30-some% non-American now, right?
Yeah.
One time it was 90-some% American. When your product get to be global and needs to be best, you have to keep replenishing that talent in there. And you got to go global to get your talent because you want to generate the income. So England probably could use more local players. You have to have 8 in your squad. But some leagues are more exclusive too in terms of how they do this. I don't think it's just the player alone. First of all, English players don't go overseas to play football. They just started doing it. See them going to quite a bit in Italy. If you go to Germany for on loans, they normally stay home because they make more money staying home than they go overseas.
All right. So, but look.
But I'm not saying that some of the other countries don't necessarily have better academies.
Yeah, but
I'm saying there are other rationale to this.
But I'm saying Spain has 41% foreign base. So Spain has 58% domestic players.
Right, but it doesn't mean that the only reason is because their academies are better.
I'm not saying it's the only reason. What I'm trying to say to you, Cranky, if you take the influx of those foreign players out of the English Premier League,
right,
it is not what we think it is.
It wouldn't be as good, but you can say that for any league in the world nowadays.
No, what I'm showing you, but it's the English Premier League.
Cavalier got about 3 or 4 foreign players on the team, don't they?
But I'm saying the English Premier League is more dependent. I'm not saying it shouldn't have foreign players, no.
Right.
But I'm saying it's more dependent on foreign talent than any of the top 5 leagues.
I don't think any. Here's how I view this because people gotta understand. Because you guys are young, okay? You guys are young. Let me just call you guys out. You guys are young. So in the late 70s, all Jamaicans to get is English League football. My name make 40-yard pass on the dime from people's chest, from them head. The football has changed to be much more slower and play more tiki-taka football. But people in the Caribbean to watch all those games because they were a good watch. When Liverpool was dominating and Leeds was good in the late 70s, it was a good watch. You watch the games on Sunday night when they have like match of the day now in England. They used to show that in Jamaica. Those balls are being hit 40-yard, 50-yard on a dime. The John Barnes, the Kenny Dalglish, all those players are playing. So it was an attractive watch.
For them time, the Italy,
Italian league was good. No, Italian league wasn't good in the 70s. Italian league was good in the 80s and early 90s. Everybody have their time.
I mean, as I said though, Frankie, I'm just saying in terms of the conversion of talent when they're looking at it. I think if we're looking for coaches to look at, you can look in terms of the French coaches and the Spanish coaches. We have to look at who is the most successful right now.
I think the JFF needs to get off their derriere and go do some work to get the association they need to figure out how to develop the talent. I think people have gotten comfortable in their roles. They're not making the extra effort, at least I'm not seeing it, to go out and build association affiliations to then get these coaches and get these players in an environment where they can develop their skill set. Because as Rudolph keeps saying when he said the other day, athletically, we're there, is the coaching that's not there. And he would admit that too.
Yeah, but I think, as I said, Brazil is an anomaly, Cranky, because Brazilian coaches aren't really imported across the world. Brazil imports the most players.
Yeah, they do have a lot of players in Brazil from overseas.
but they don't, in terms of their coaches, because I think Brazilian people are more introverts. They love their own culture, so they're not really going over here like that. But anyway, that big up yourself still.
Yeah, man. Thanks for the call. Thanks for the call. And I'm glad you're in the vicinity. Later.
All right.
So that was CC, people. And we reached the 2-hour mark. That was CC in the vicinity. And by the way, before I go, let me say this. Because some of the things that I hate, I know. I heard Messi's in Jamaica. So I'm sure everybody and their mother want to take a picture with him. So if you got a chance, take a picture with him. Man, it's a global icon. If you haven't hit the like button, please do so I can watch the program. Third, I hope Cavaliers do really, really well tomorrow. I hope they beat in-time progress. Hey, can you imagine if Cavaliers go last 8 Why I could even mention Rudolph name again, Tara. I forgot to go up on the back seat and make it calm down first. If Rudolph beat Cavalier in touch, I can't talk to Rudolph again. In fact, Rudolph wouldn't talk to me again. No, but Rudolph has been very impressive. Rudolph, you know something, people? This is very important. Very important. And I'm not trying to sound like an elitist, but it shows you how good intellect comes across in various medium. I'm not calling on him, but sometimes we used to have Jamaicans out there talking to the media and we cringe. Right? We had people in leadership position talk to the media and we cringe. We turn our head, we all turn it down so we don't hear it. We want beep. Like look at year 1 year, and we said, Jesus, why might represent us not well? Rudolph, you've done a brilliant job. As I've said to you, I'm gonna text you before post-interview, pre-interview. Even him lose him now, I'm blaming Pano, referee. Very professional, above the line. So he has made the country proud, even though he lost, because he's been conducting himself like a true professional and a leader in that environment. That's an imperative, people. The way you come across is important when you're representing something that has national implications to it, or just representing yourself, or your club, or your family is very important. So, proud of Rudolph for him conduct himself. Now, Rudolph go up on the field and go beat Miami. And those of you who think Cranky don't want Rudolph win, joke thing that. No, I'm not against Rudolph. I think Rudolph and I get along as best as we can. And sometimes we won't agree on quota, and we won't agree on other things.
Anyway.
Good evening.
Cranky.
Yes.
Nice conversation there with the brethren there a while ago.
Yes.
You understand? I kind of like that because a good football talk. You understand?
Yes, sir.
But hear this, you know, when
why is there a but? Why don't use butting? When they use but,
look here, man. You know,
we can't say nice. I didn't say but.
All of them think they're good when time they have structure sentences, you know.
Yeah.
But
okay.
anyway, the thing want to leave off about the whole European and the coaching and the players, and he's 100% correct when him say we used to the small ball, you know, because we usually the average youth man at Jamaica play a corner football them want to play.
Right.
Down the lane and then play close. So everybody wants salad and brook. And I think I've said this to you before. But the deal is, when you're over in Europe, all them structure for them football, because people got to talk about the money them have. It ain't about money, it's about a structure. The man them have football academies, where from the youth is like 5 years old, them are play upon big field. And yes, they go there to play football, but they're also doing their academic work. But their primary thing while they're there is from 5. Look on the youth name, Lamal. Lamal will play for Lamal.
Yeah. Play for Barcelona,
play
right?
For Barcelona, right? The youth, the Barcelona academy from long time, you know, Messi. Through the Barcelona academy, them youth, they come up on them about 5, 6 years old and play pee-wee football, you know. In America, the same thing applies, not for soccer. Them just started a while ago because I think the Inter Miami and the other MLS team them now start one little thing where them try recruit the little youth them now to come play, you know, academy football. But it has always been for baseball. You have pee-wee baseball. It has always been for football. You have all of these like a pee-wee football league and basketball, which is the major 3 American sports. When you go Canada, hockey or something from you come out of the womb, them throw a hockey stick in your hand, and everywhere you go, you skate hockey and play hockey. So in order for Jamaica to develop any kind of sports, in this particular case we are talking about football, it has to be an integrated thing, number one, with either the school system, you go Wolmer's or you play. No, you have to start from long before that. You have to start from primary school. And you have to have the field where the youth them go. But Jamaica doesn't have that organizational structure.
Right.
Because when time you go, one like a primary school down at Denham Town, or one up Ligony, or one at Westmoreland, all the youth them though, I go school every day and then go with them like a bag, and then them have to walk, go home and come back. There is nobody structure when they look at you, them go say, well, we need money because we don't have no field, and if they put the youth them on the field, it's like a dirt patch. Then them not really have nobody there to teach the youth them technique. No, the only school that I know that I can remember that did something for youth football at that age, I think was like Peter and Paul.
Right.
Peter and Paul, but then you have to have money for send the fit to go Peter and Paul and some of them Hillel there and some of them school there where people are spending money.
But Peter and Paul a big time money school, man.
So none of that me I say when you have money you
So you said I mean you need money for academies, right?
Well, herein lies where I say no. And people go laugh and talk, and say, boy, this brother talk all kind of nonsense, But me lay the blame just like you where the blame supposed to lay, Me put all of this still, and the Jamaican government still doing, I don't care what nobody wants to say, say, my cousin sent me a little thing today, and him say, boy, Trump come out to that thing now where, boy, the Cuban doctor them, boy, look like say,
yeah, I've heard about that actually.
One thing with Cuban, and then boy, Jamaica get enough Cuban that. I know, I look on them and say, I say, my youth, them think they are food business. I say, me remember the days when time country where me born used to deny people education because them have dread for them or some kind of religion. Man did have to migrate and go foreign to get education. Man come up foreign and I go school with dreadlocks. And man couldn't go to school at Jamaica with dreadlocks. Little girl get pregnant and say, you can't go to school. Look here, you have to, in order to have a structural thing going to develop whatever you want to develop. It takes the private sector and it takes government. And everybody have to work together for the good of all. And you can't leave out nobody. You can't say, well, because you come from Tivoli and boy, a Denham town man, and a Mexico man or a Trench town man, and me up on the other side, him can't get or him don't want. No, we're all Jamaican. And everybody have to kind of get the little opportunity to grow. You can't wait till when time my youth I play football nowadays, I went time I'm a teenager, I when I start play football, so I'm late in the game.
Yep.
Him late because them little youth they want to play over in Europe or even America. I start from them a fight. Me and the youth bring up an argument, and that's why I'm telling them kind of like the argument. Tell them my mother talk about the girl there. And them say, well, she might be 16, but she might be 18 or whatever, but she's been playing so long that she's really a veteran. But she's been playing a long time. Well, the same thing with enough of them youth, where you say I play in Europe, They have been playing football for so long now. That is like a second nature to them. We just start from corner football, and maybe when we get to Wolmer's or Champion or wherever, and a man say, a coach say, well, boy, we need Champion to win a Walker Cup or this cup or that cup. So you man, come on. You're too late. You're too late. And then he's not going to want to change your style because as you say, I agree with him 100% at the style of football where you are play and make him win. And he might try to secure teamwork. So he not really think about develop you. He might think about himself. Wherein in these other countries, them man they play at organizational level where them know say, yo, why? And me no really play the standard of football where them people are used to, Them go get rid of me and get somebody else. And no matter how good, I've seen some really good coaches in Europe lose them job, because maybe them never win a competition or them make a rival beat them or something like that. You ever see anything like that going on in Jamaica?
No, Jamaica is different. It's a different construct.
Exactly. So a lot of things in Jamaica, football and sports overall have to change. It's a whole mental, and that's another thing that you guys touched on, the whole mental aspect of the game. Because having natural ability and skill is one thing, but mentally to be able to see the field, to see the pass, to not get dejected when time things don't go your way, to have that fight and that will when time you're down. You know what I deal with? There's just a certain mental aspect of the game that is bigger than your physical attribute. Because enough man, remember man used to say, oh, blacker boy, the skill and blacker boy can not there a salad, but blacker boy never have the head. Like what my boy where they go play a ball at. One name?
Ricardo Gardner.
Bibi did have more knowledge in him head and him could have seen the game better than Blacker. So that's why I'm elevated to a level bigger than Blacker.
Right.
The two of them was, to me, two very skilled players, but one have a head and one didn't. And then the other thing too is, of course, a man come from a community, and sometimes them things there's like a, you know, I hate to say it, but it's true. It hold a man back because you know the community kind of boosts you up, and you maybe get involved in a certain thing, a certain man promote, yeah, blah 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 blah. You know what it is.
Yep.
In Europe, America, them things are like what affect footballers in Jamaica doesn't affect those guys in Europe. So it's a whole different level. But now to this Cavalier game or go. These guys should just use this game pretty much as a showcase. Just like, oh, you know, I mean, the only showcase that the youth them that Jamaica really get. Right? I mean, post captain did bring in the European man them, so where they kind of get exposure worldwide for that. Right? And it's only on the national side. Locally, there isn't much exposure because there ain't no coaches and no scouts and nobody coming down to come watch Premier League football. So when you get an opportunity like this on a bigger level than what they Jamaica, you have to kind of make the best out of it. The Cavaliers need to go out there and put their best foot forward. So maybe some man, a Europe or whatever, can see them and say, hey, Dan, him look good. I wonder if we can invite him to, maybe me have to look for, you understand what I deal with, Frankie? That is, to me, what Cavaliers need to do with this game, with Inter. It's not about winning or losing the game, you know, it's, oh, you're playing.
Okay.
You understand?
But I'm sure Rudolph want to win, but yeah. Performance is important. Performance is important.
Performance is to me, is what it's all about. Don't get into the hype because stadium full and then you play out of control or you want to show up to the fans, because you're going to have eyes that's watching, and monetarily speaking, it can benefit you, your family. You get a little contract and you go England or you come America, come play like a MLS or whatever. It can actually take you to the next level, and that will in turn help Jamaica national side, because the youth them know what play in a Europe and America and them things, and them youth they know we are the pen fan now for come to Jamaica.
Right.
Because we don't really have that bigger talent pool in Jamaica to play upon that international level to win. Yeah, maybe we can beat up the little pie them, you know, Curacao or maybe not even Cuba, but you know what I mean? Dominican Republic.
Yeah.
But when you get to the Mexico and the US and the and Canada, no big, and the Panama, that's a whole different ball game. You have to know player. As my people have said, you got to step the game up.
Yeah. Yeah, man.
You understand?
Yeah,
so
man.
right now, Nation League is coming up. Nation League coming up. We're not there, but World Cup round the corner.
Now, World Cup is coming up.
World Cup coming. So, you know, some nice tournaments are coming for us to get some, you know, experience. Some of the boys them over there play good. Some of them damage, ain't gonna come back. Some of them now playing Champions League or about semi-final, quarter-final, wherever them there, right? Some play Sweet 16. So, you know, the level of competition for Jamaica should actually elevate this cycle. You understand? Let's see what happens. Maybe we can find a one youth out of Cavaliers or a one youth from somewhere else, and you know, we make a good team. As far as the coach, me was talk about the coach. Him talk a good game, but to me, him sound like more of an assistant, like a second. Him sound like a big coach for the national team. And I think it take more than that. My boy was just say, yeah, you need some only for tactical things and technical skills. You know, it's just more than a buggermouth when time we go in our press conference and you talk. I think that you know, there's more book work to be had. And I think also when they played the last game, you know, the man say, you know, something I don't want to get a 6-love, you know, so I'm going to play more defensively. And then when time we get the ball, we just try to break out, and then we see what go on. But pretty much, if you go forward, and you lose the ball, just make sure so you can sprint from that. And that goes pretty much take a taxing toll for the youth then. Messi never play. I don't think Miami is that well-rounded a team, because as I say, yo, any of them man they play or some team in Europe. Them team they in Europe, any one of them team. We just butter bruise up Miami. Butter bruise up any one of them MLS teams. MLS is not on the level of European football. You understand? So even though a Champions Cup, Concacaf, yeah, they're good for Champions Cup, Concacaf, but if they play the Europeans, I don't think that it'll be even be approved. Because even Messi and them man, they know. I age them man, they age out of Europe, why them come America, you know. Them man, they just really depend on like a money tour, you know. Let me see if I can play and get enough fan support, and then maybe I come in like better man and my own a team. Because I have to think about things post football. Want about my family, where I go live. So them man, they know they're on a tour and they bring in them bridging them. Why I used to play with the Barcelona and 1 and 2, man, and they say, come in, man, I'm going to play a game and bring in some fan support. Miami need a boost. Miami is a good thing. And they're building Miami football still, don't they? Because they build a big stadium down in Miami down there, down by Trump Golf Course, way right there. The man them get all kind of money from the city of Miami. And they're building a big stadium. You remember with Fort Lauderdale? What Fort Lauderdale team didn't even get strikers?
Yeah.
Fort Lauderdale Strikers back in the day, them used to play up at Fort Lauderdale, right past from the Yankees training ground. And them pretty much rehab that stadium. As a matter of fact, where the boys played the stadium a couple of times.
Carl, I have to cut you, because I have to leave soon. Because I start.
Yeah, I know.
So anyway, but I appreciate the call. I appreciate the call.
Yeah, I forgot eat. Yeah, anyway.
Yeah, man.
We're going to hold it down. We're going to hold it down.
Yeah, man.
Just enjoy the game tomorrow. I don't know about the $300 ticket, though, no. I don't know if Cavalier worth at $300 US. But the money go to the players, them, and not to somebody else. So let's see what comes out of that.
Yeah, man.
Bless up.
Bless up. Bless up. Yeah, thanks. I'm ready to conclude the evening, people. Thanks for the call from the caller. A lot of information there. And from CC who called in. A couple of things before I go. First of all, thanks for being here. As I said before, I got to my 2,500. So we can't stop this YouTube then. 2,500 subscribers, guys. And think I still think maybe about 100,000 by now. By the time we reach 100,000, probably pass away way before then. Before the game question before I leave. Before the game, I asked a question. He says, Cranky, do you believe Jamaica football in the Caribbean will improve in the next 20 years? So my answer to that would be multiple. One is, I think those organizations in the Caribbean that have exceptional leadership, and I want to say good leadership, exceptional leadership, and are visionaries and are strategic in their thinking and can develop a plan, a strategy, effectuate that plan, put it in place, and get buy-in from their stakeholders will actually do well. 2 countries that I've seen so far who I like good leadership entail. 1, in terms of what they're doing, Dominican Republic. 2, in terms of leadership, is Grenada. And I know some of the things that they're doing. But I don't see where some of the other countries, like Trinidad and Jamaica, I think the leadership has to improve. Somebody asked me, would I run for JFA president? No, I'm running for Cranky Live podcast. That's what I'm doing. But I'll say this, I couldn't do a worse job. I couldn't. I'd have to try really hard to do a worse job. Seriously. There's so many things you see which frustrate you about what could be done, given the potential, and they're not being done. Now, I know it's easy to sit in your chair and be Monday morning quarterback and criticize and challenge and say these things. But if you work in certain environment, you have certain know-how, you can do better. Right? And people say football is improving. Here's what people like Paul Edwards don't realize. That's why I have a problem with them. Everything in the world is improving. It's about the rate of improvement. So I'll give you an example. If you improve, Jamaica has improved since I've been in Jamaica and live here now. It's improved significantly. But where's the rest of the world when it comes to football? So we're conflating 2 things. We're conflating improvement with the speed of improvement to allow you to compete. So if I'm improving 10% every year and you're improving 20% every year and I'm 50% better than you, I'm falling further behind even though I'm improving 10% a year. So we're confused when we talk about, well, the football is improving when the rest of the world or other areas that we're competing with are improving much faster. You will never catch up. You need visionary. Just me talking about Jamaica environment. Forget about the football. The reason why Trump is focused on tariffs is fundamental, people. It's part of Project 2025. What they want to do is they realize that China's emergence, China's now world almost dominance, is based on its manufacturing prowess. Control every aspect of the supply chain, like BYDs, for example, for building cars, the tires, the parts, the manufacturing, whatever it is, the technology from front to back. So when you control every aspect of the supply chain, everything is there's a cost. You can generate certain profits. You can cut your prices and undercut your competition. The concept applies to sports also. If you have people like China who borrow, steal, and do whatever to dominate, you have to then go learn how others do this to allow you also to dominate. The leadership, and by the way, people, I'm supposed to have a show next week, Tuesday. I'm not going to say who the person is because they're not sure they can commit to it, but it's somebody who's sort of known in the New York area, who's also come on a couple of radio programs in New York. I've heard him on programs, but Kyle helped me reach out to him. Kyle facilitated the discussion. I won't say who he is. Kyle Wallace knows him, and I asked Kyle to introduce me, and he did. He's supposed to come next week, Tuesday. I'm sure he's going to come. But we're going to talk about, should diaspora be more involved in local affairs, which could be Jamaica, could be Grenada, whatever it is. Because I've said this before numerous times. I don't think there's another country on earth who has exported more people per capita than Jamaica. That's my view. Right? I don't think so. The country I think that's exported the most people is probably India. They export about 80 million people, but they have 1.5 billion people. So they're not going to export 10% of the population. Jamaica probably export as much people, or at a minimum, more than 50% of its population. That's probably unheard of. So that means a whole bunch of your people are outside your country and they have no say in your affairs. That is asinine. But you want to come back and invest in the country. Right? Yeah, everybody have vision until it get put in place, Paul Edwards. So we'll see. We'll see how that go, Paul Edwards. I didn't say Jamaica not improving. It's the rate of progress, people. Most things across the world are improving in some way, shape, or form. But if you're progressing at a snail's pace versus others, you'll never catch up. It's a competition. And everything in the competition nowadays. You see the whole trade war we see having now? And people don't realize what Trump is doing, which is, as I said, I'm going to do a show between now and Friday on this. What he's doing makes some sense, and it makes no sense, if that makes sense. But I don't want to give it away. I'm going to do my show. Okay, undercut myself. But what he's doing makes a lot of sense. But the way he's doing it doesn't make any sense. And so, as I said before, it's not what you do, is when you do it, where you do it, and how you do it. And so people can't get that right. They will struggle, even though they have great ideas and they may have great product. If you don't know how to sell your product, get buying for your product, expose your product, then your product can go get the notoriety and the vision that it needs to get to do well. So, yeah. My hope is that the leadership, the JFF has put in some new leadership. They have a new head of media, new head of marketing. Dennis came in a couple of years ago. But there's some other leadership position in the JFF, like the whole board. I'm gonna start me up on the JFF, but I'm going on JFF tonight. Start on the JFF. But anyway, let me conclude tonight by saying, first of all, thanks for being here. I'm on I have my 2,500. I'm very pleased with the number of, but I'm pleased that I've got the 2,500. I'm not pleased with my rate of growth. So hear me talk about rate of growth this evening. So that's why I'm changing some things to change my rate of growth. I decided to take this thing serious. I'm gonna change my rate of growth. I won't cover as much sports because I not get to see them subscription level as I get for other stuff. But I still cover sports. And I do more mainly Jamaica football, but that also needs to change because there's a larger world out there. What's to say? I'm just reading what someone is saying here. Most people per capita, really? What does China has 1.5 billion people now? How much have they exposed? I thought India exported the most people, which was 80 million. What number China's exported? Maybe my AI didn't give me wrong information. I don't think anybody exported. If China exported as much people as Jamaica, that means half the population of China live outside China. I don't think that's correct. That cannot be right. That cannot be right. I'm sure there's as much Jamaican outside Jamaica as in Jamaica. Jamaica has what? The same 2.9 people for the last 20-something years. Right? Jamaica have the same 2.9 million people, or 2.7, 2.9 for the last 20-something years. Unless them census wrong. This is the last call for the evening. And it's a short one. Good night. Good night.
Night, Frankie. How you doing?
I'm doing well. How
I
you
just
doing?
wanted, good. I just wanted to jump on and touch on that Trump tariff thing.
Okay.
You know, to me, what he's doing doesn't make any sense. And let me tell you why. The world has changed from the 50s, where the European Union and China GDP rivals the USA. So basically, for him to bring back manufacturing jobs is basically going to be painful. And by the time he does it, it's going to be irrelevant. You know what I'm saying?
Right.
So I kind of understand that he wants to bring back manufacturing jobs. But listen, you know, when you're a child, compared to now, the whole ball game changed. The whole ball game changed.
Yeah, but here's the issue, and people also have factored how AI is going to affect all of this. But I think the reason why it's a focus of people is this: they believe if they ratchet the tariff now, they'll force a lot of companies like Apple, for example, or Google, all those companies with a lot of offshore activities to come back internally and produce their products in the US, right? What they haven't really considered is the cost of coming back and also the cost of doing business in the US, which is much more expensive than anywhere else in the world.
Right.
But I understand the logic because China's emergence and China's growth is about manufacturing. And you think about it, Germany is suffering because people are not buying German cars like they used to. That's why Germany was the most powerful country in Europe. They're not buying German cars like they used to. So that manufacturing component also is substantiated by you see what's happening in Europe, you see what's happening in India, even though India is mainly financial services, but they're also growing. So in China, you see Vietnam, you see Taiwan, and you look around the globe and you say, it's about manufacturing, isn't it? Because you can sell services all you want, but when you're manufacturing stuff, that's sustainable. Especially if you can undercut the competition. So yeah. But I understand what you're saying, which is they may be late to the game in doing this.
Right. And what the Chinese has done is they have basically invested in trade routes throughout the world, not just the third world, the world, period. You know, but we see more in the third world. Every third world nation has a Chinese component set up there. Either they are migrating there, setting up shop, or they have certain infrastructure projects invested in those third world nations. So basically, them locked down the trade routes. You know what I'm saying?
No. What they've basically done, they have locked the trade route down. No. What they've done is they built the one China Beltway, right? Which is mainly connecting the world, which they asked the US to participate in, and the US says no. The difference between China and the US is this: that you can't tell what's a private company from a public company from a government company in China, right? They're all intertwined. In the US, there's clear demarcation between private and public and the government.
Right. And you know what? Obama had a bill in Congress called, I believe it was the TPP, to basically counter that, where basically they would set up a trade bloc with the USA and South America and part of Asia. And they killed it. You know what I mean? That would be the perfect response to what the Chinese are doing. But no, this madman comes in and says, let's set up tariffs.
Yeah, but people can understand this. Trump is just a messenger, you know.
Oh, yeah.
Right? Trump is a messenger. Trump is delivering the message that a group of people who are around in his circle wanted to deliver. That's why Musk is part of that group. That's why Musk getting his ass kicked now with Tesla.
And
couldn't happen to a better person.
Right. And Trump won't feel the pain. Or Trump can bear the pain more than the average Joe. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
So even if he gets a hit, him and Elon Musk, you know, even if they get a hit right now, you know, they will come a point where them say, listen, this ain't worth it, man. I'm losing money. You know, we have to change course.
Look,
you know, to the average man now, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
Them will go in a debt, lose them house, lose them job, probably I'll drop down dead, you know, because they can't afford healthcare. You know, by then it's too late.
Yeah, I think
these guys are playing with poor people lives. Simple as that.
Well, no, I think they're trying to do a long-term play, which the artist's not going to buy because Americans don't do long-term play. So it's like you're saying, you know what, Kyle is going to be good for you 5 years from now. And Kyle's like, so what do I do in the next 5 years? I got to live. That's what they're running into. That's pain as day people. They're saying, look, if you take the short-term pain, or I call it medium-term pain, eventually everybody will have jobs because we'll have these industries here. And you're saying, I have a mortgage to pay, my family has to eat now, I can't wait 5 years. That's what they're running into. And also how they communicate it has been poor.
Yeah, of course. But medium pain is subjective. You know, what do they call medium-term pain? 5 years, 10 years, 15 years?
Well, as long as it takes to bring the manufacturing back is what they think.
Yeah, please. That ain't coming back, bro. That's not coming back. Okay?
Yeah, I think the problem is
the fifth phase is not, the sixth phase is not, the seventh phase is not, the eighth. You're dealing with a Chinese and a European Union that has the same GDP as you. Come on.
Yeah, but here's the problem. Here's the thing about that, though. So the question you asked yourself, Kyle, because you live in the US, what do you do? Do you just give up? Or do you compete?
No. Listen, Obama had the answer.
Well, but it's Trump time now. It's not Obama. So you get what would people suggest Trump do? I'm gonna be rhetorical here. What would you suggest Trump to do to compete? Because China is just run away. What
you should do is go dig up Obama's TPP Congress.
No. But that's too late. It's too late.
Let me finish. Rebrand it. Trump 200 and go sell it again. I mean, that's what he does.
I think that's too late. But I appreciate the cost.
It's crazy.
All right,
man. Take care. Cool.
So people look for my video. I'm gonna drop one on the benefits and detriments of tariffs. I'm gonna do one between now and the weekend. As I said before, I could do Trump between now and next year. No miss a beat. I have materials continuously. And some of these media outlets are disingenuous, by the way. I listen to them, you know. And even though I'm not a Trump fan, I'm not a fan of the Trump, the person, but I try to be as balanced as possible in my assessments. And some things he's doing needs to be done. The question is, how is he doing them? When is he doing them? Where is he doing them? Right? And I'm not sure anybody can tell him anything. That's why they're not helping him to massage his message. So, for example, here's one point I'm bringing to you. Go look at the tariff rates, the U.S. charge, and what's charged in the U.S. Right? Go look at those rates because they're different, materially different. Right? Materially different. And some of those fights, those other parties like Canada cannot win the fight with the U.S. You can't contribute 30% of your GDP can be based on me, and I have 1% from you, and you think you're going to win. You ain't going to win. You're going to feel more pain. You may try to get pain like cutting off New York, Minnesota, and Michigan electricity. You're going to feel much more pain. You have to understand that. And that's what Trump is playing with. Bless up, Talawa. Thanks for joining. Chris said, Cranky, the bus station in China looks better than airports in America. Yeah, but I don't think there's a good comparison, Chris. So here's what, guys, we're going to do a whole different show tonight. I'm 2.5 hours in. I got to stop. Here's why you're going to do the comparison. And we see this in the developing countries. When you have an old infrastructure, it's hard to break it down. It was Kyle Talawa. It's hard to break it down and start over. China didn't have any infrastructure. They just they just skip a whole generation of infrastructure and put up what they have. So their airports, their bus station, everything going to look much better. I went to Hong Kong once, years ago. When did I go to Hong Kong? 2011, 2012? Now, when I was working at one of these investment firms. And I was in the subway station thinking I'm in somebody's living room. It was that nice. And you go to the subway station here, which is over 100 years old. So when you have these creaky infrastructure, you keep adding on and patching them, and it's like you have a old pants. But nowadays are brilliant pants because the style. If you grew up in the 70s in Jamaica, people used to have pants and then patch them so much because they couldn't afford to buy a new one. It's a style pants them in the world now, right? So you patch the infrastructure, you patch it. You can't get a new one because it's expensive to do a new one. Especially if you dig up the old one and get a new one. And people in America don't have patience. They want everything yesterday. So we can't do that comparison, Chris. I understand what you're saying, and you're right. But it's hard. When I used to go to Japan for business, the subway station, even though it's an older one than China, not older as US, they're nice. They have bullet trains there. You can go from one place to the next in 3 hours, and taking the US, it take you forever and Amtrak to go there. But the point I'm making is that it's all infrastructure. Like you have the UK subway system, the US subways. They're old and creaky, but they're hard to replace. India's building. You know how long India built for them subway system, people. I was in India when. I was in India 2023. You know how much overrun cost them have? You know how long it takes them to build them system? So these things make it difficult. Hedge funds have shouted out with $1 trillion. When you see all them billionaires at the inauguration, you know these trillions have not been placed. Now, it's not about shorting them. Most of the money you saw at this thing is people make their money from new money, technology, new money. Yeah, Chris, but people, this is for another show. You know what? See, me, I get so much interest right now. Someone who said we're not talk no social thing, but just talk sports and XYZ. So we'll talk about something there. The US has been dominant since the end of World War II. Dominant. When they made in wherever they mess up in Massachusetts or New Hampshire, they come up with a new US dollar as a world currency. That's why they can do sanctions. They've been dominant. But as you're saying, every empire, go back to the Roman Empire, Ottoman Empire, whatever it is, even the British, at some point, somebody is going to take over. And in today's environment, the size of your population, hey, when I used to go to India and ask people in India, how come you guys are not as prominent as China? I don't understand. You guys you dominate technology in terms of intellectually. Why? But it's so complex there between the caste system and democracy. You know, democracy is a hindrance sometimes, you know. China don't have no restriction. You just do what you want to do. You can't do that in India. Modi can't do that. Modi have to get consensus. Consensus are hindrance. Consensus are bureaucracy. No, I'm not going to fight against consensus because I like to live in that democracy, but it's much more complex, people, much more. Yes, I don't disagree with that. And they're trying to hold on for dear life, and it's too late. They should have done more altruistic thing in developing the world versus developing themselves. And what China did was what China did, people. You know what China do? China build distribution channels. And China build markets for them product. You know what China do at Jamaica? What China do in Jamaica? They build road and they build ports for them products. You bring my product in, and you can move the product, commerce. Then build roads and then build ports. That's going to do everywhere. They go to Ethiopia, then go everywhere. They're going to do that. Same thing in Panama. Build ports, build roads, so we can bring in my products and sell them to you because I want to be the world supplier. China had a motto. They want to be self-sufficient by 2025. They're almost there. Meaning they don't need nobody else. They produce everything they want to produce. And they have size to do it. So anyway, I'm going to close up by saying this. Please look up for my video. It should come out by end of day Friday, talking about tariffs, benefits, and detriments. I'm going to drop some of the shorts too and some progress I've done. I'm looking for a nice Jamaica topic to talk about people. By the way, Tuesday, I'm going to have a guest here to talk about should the diaspora be much more involved in local affairs. So look out for that also. And I'm here tomorrow to do the watch along between Cavaliers and Messi. Oh, forget Inter Miami. Yeah. Cavaliers and Messi. I don't want to keep on Inter Miami. Jamaica said, yeah, Jamaica Vice. Call in tomorrow. If you come watch the show, come think tomorrow, you can call in tomorrow. Crank, when Rome fell, the one part moved to England today, the amount of rich Americans moved to different countries and buy. Yeah, because people, it varies, Chris. It's complicated. It's complicated. People buy citizenship in New Zealand. And who that? Mark Zuckerberg, I think it was. And then they have him host Maui in Miami. So yeah, billionaires can buy a house anywhere and everywhere. But anyway, people, it's been 2 hours and 40 minutes. Glad to be here with you. If you haven't subscribed, please do so. If you have hit the like button, please do so. Come join me tomorrow so we can watch Cavaliers make us more proud. And to Rudolph Speed and his team, good luck. Hope you do well. And people, don't get it conflicted. Don't get it confused. I don't have any ill will to anything Jamaican except corruption, except bad mind, except mismanagement, except incompetence, except ineptitude. Them thing, them a bad mind. If you're doing good, they're on your side. If you make progress and make it look good, they're on your side. All right? So don't get it confused. We're all about goodness, both in the heart, mind, soul, and everywhere else. So thanks for being here. I appreciate you being here. I hope you have a wonderful evening. And you know what? Let me set me ultra music. Let me turn it off. Let me set me ultra music. I didn't turn it on. Have a good evening, good night, and peace out. Bless up. Frankie Life is the best to be now. For the best sports talk and it's free, yo. Frankie Life will be your guiding light by keeping you informed both day and night. Frankie Life, tell them. Frankie Life, heed them. Frankie Life, want them. Frankie Life. From the courts to the field, we'll never lose because Cranky has the hottest news. With expert analysis, we break it down. Our in-depth coverage is best in town. Cranky Life, tell them. Cranky Life, heed them. Cranky Life, want them. Cranky Life. Cranky Life, where the sports is spicy and where we keep the discussion lively. Cranky Life, get to know the name because Cranky analysis is never lame. Cranky Life, give me my Cranky Life. I want my Cranky Life. Must have my Cranky Life. Whether it's football or track and field, you know Cranky is at the wheel. So join the journey through victory and defeat and subscribe and don't miss a beat of Cranky Life. Tell them, Cranky Life. Heed them, Cranky Life. Want them, Cranky Life. If you're from England or USA, from Kingston or Bombay, from Kenya or Canada, Lagos or Havana, visit Cranky Life. Tune into Cranky Life. Like up Cranky Life. Subscribe to Cranky Life. Cranky Life coming to you on weekdays. Cranky Life sometimes on Sundays. Pull up a chair and take a seat because Cranky will always bring the heat. Cranky Life. Me say fi tell them Cranky Life. Me say fi heed them Cranky Life. On them Cranky Life. Cranky Life will be around. Cranky Life is the best in town. Me say fi heed them. Me say fi want them. Me say fi heed them. Want them, heed them, want them. Cranky Life. Cranky Life. Heed them, want them, heed them, want them. Cranky Life. Cranky Life. Heed them, want them, heed them, want them, heed them, want them. Cranky Life. Cranky Life. Cranky. Heed them, want them, heed them, want them. Heed, want, heed them.